place, when you're moving from one country to another, don't just go to that country without having a proper company that literally knows the locals. Don't just move from America to Kenya or from America to where alone by yourself. Find proper channels, because there's con men out here. There are people who con. There's a lot of things you will encounter. So as you make your moves, also just use proper channels to move, or you will lose a lot of money in this process. Have you watched the Serengeti migration? If you've watched the way the wealth, they migrate from Serengeti to Kenya and back, Tanzania, Kenya and back, that process of migration is usually very chaotic, my dears. The process of migration is very chaotic. Don't become a collateral damage. So anyway, as I was saying, my rose broke. What's rose? What rose broke? As I was saying, guys, we still have 5 minutes until the live starts. And I want to start this live in a very special way today, because it is the 10th live of 2024. This is the 10th Wednesday of 2024 that we're coming live. So I just want to start it in a special way today. But before that, guys, keep tapping on the screen if you're here and you're hyped up about today's learning. Today's lesson is it is going to change your life. I'm telling you, it is going to change the way you look at things. So keep tapping on the screen so that we get as many people as possible here. Also, as you tap on the screen, just tell me, where are you watching us from and what time is it there? Tell me where you're watching us from and what time is it there. Umefanana na PLO leo. PLO ni kama Buddha bana. PLO ni kama Buddha. So hata nikimfanana, hiyo ni sawa. Hiyo ni ancestral. You know, what I look like has nothing to do with me. More of the time, I usually encourage people, if you want to like celebrate me or appreciate me, don't look at what I look like. What I look like has nothing to do with me. What is inside, the energy that has been accumulated inside of me, that is what you should be appreciating or, you know, giving compliments. But me personally, what I look like, that is ancestral. That is River Lake Niloid. That you should go and ask South Sudan, not me. So anyway, we have Spain is in the house. The United States is in the house. Kisumu is in the house. Right now, it is 6:56 p.m. in Kisumu. South Africa are 1 hour behind Kisumu, so they are 17 hours 56. Yes, Fort Worth, Texas, 10:56. These ones are behind. Like literally, us in Africa, we are already. Most of the time when people post like this, I just want you to observe, especially the people who are posting time. I want you to observe. We are here in the now, but look at the timelines. Nigeria is still 2 hours behind Kenya. Look at the time. Finland and Kenya are, no, Finland is 1 hour behind Kenya. You know, Limuru is in Kenya. Dubai is 7:57, meaning Dubai is 1 hour ahead of Kenya. Where is 1700? Dubai is 1957. Dubai is 1 hour ahead of Kenya. So Dubai are ahead of us. So you should also look at how the sun, you know, where does the sun rise and where does the sun set? Because these timelines, they will tell you a lot of things that we've been told by NASA, they are false. And most of the time when you want to find out the truth, you just compare notes with each other. The truth is always in the public. The truth never dies. The truth once created cannot die. It can only be concealed. So even these things of us being lied to by the colonizer, it's not like the truth is in the public. That is why they did not want the public to come together and figure things out. Once the public comes together to figure things out, we will realize the only moment we share is the now. The now moment. Because somebody who is in the United States of America is at 9:58. That is AM, I'm guessing. So it is morning. It is morning. It is noon in Canada right now. It is noon in Canada. So most of the time when you look at even the timelines, network, is it your network or mine? Yes, AM. There are people who are, there is when they are waking up, and there are people who are now, they are going to sleep. And this is what shows the movement of the sun. So you're looking fine, kama kawaida. Asante sana, my dear. Thank you. As we continue. Yeah, it is 10:58 a.m. in the New York City. So you see, I want you to look at something here. When you look at time, When you look at time, I want you to look. The sun rises in the east and sets in the west. And do you know what the sun comes with? The sun comes with memory. Meaning news. News should always start in the east and set in the west. Look at our world today. The world that we live in today, news starts from the west and sets in the east. Like literally, it is the west that have the bearing that they're showing everybody. They are the ones to start everything. As we all follow. Meaning it is already upside down. Because the truth is, Middle East, those are the people who are ahead. They are the ones who are supposed to be starting news. The sun rises in the east and sets in the west. The sun does not rise in the west and set in the east. The sun rises in the east and sets in the west. So most of the time, even the type of news that you get, know where is your news coming from and where is it heading? If you want to get the correct bearing. But anyway, that is just a start. So the time has already reached where I'm supposed to be starting. So I just want to start today's live because it is the 10th live. The 10th Wednesday of 2024. To me, that is special. So I want to start today's live with the East African Anthem. Okay, before I start, one minute. Ngoja kidogo. Okay, so this is the East African Anthem. If you know it, you can sing with yourself. But I just want to start today's live and the next week, and I want you guys to be reminding me, people who come early. I want every live until we finish the year to always start with the East African Anthem. The East African Anthem ni Jumuiya ya East Africa. We need to come together. And literally, we need to pray for our countries. We need to pray for our presidents. We need to pray for our leaders. Those are the representations of elites in our country, whether we like it or not. We need to pray for our leaders to always make the right decisions that benefit us as citizens. This thing, we start them from individual level. Charity begins at home. And it is not a joke, because right now we are in a battle. We are in a battle. Europe is struggling to die, and they don't want to die. They're holding on, they don't want to die. And you know what? If they don't die, we will recycle again. And we've not moved away so far away from that loop. We can fall back into the cycle again. So these are the moments, these are the times we pray. 2024 is the time. I don't care which religion you come from. I don't care which race you are. I don't care which age you are. Right now, it is the time to pray for Osiris. It is the time to pray for the awakening of the Olodumares, the Oshun, the Orishas. We need to pray for the correct hierarchical leaders of our planet, wherever they are, whether some of them are in the streets, still walking on the streets mad or something. We need to pray for these people to take their rightful positions so that we can regain the natural order of nature. So it is no longer a joke. We might have started as a joke, but at this point that we've reached, it is no longer a joke. We've reached a point where now the 144 fractals are being reached. And in order for change to echo into infinity, you have to reach the 144,000 fractals. And guys, you can see it. You can even see it on social media. Things are changing. People are changing. The ones who hadn't changed are shape-shifting. People are turning to look at the direction where the sun rises for real. Because that is where you need to look when you wake up. When you wake up in the morning, you look at the direction where the sun comes from. We live in a generation where we are looking at the opposite. We are looking at the west. Every time we wake up, we look at the west. You are not supposed to be looking at the west. You're supposed to be looking at east. And so we need to pray for the gods of the east to wake up. The gods of the east need to wake up so that we can make the change. Literally, we've been transitioning. This loop has been going on for over 500 years. This is not a war that we started yesterday. This is not a war that started with the death of these Americans that made us go Black Lives Matter. It did not start there. People have died because of this. And we are the generations that have come to at least create a change. So let's not joke around when it comes to spirituality. When we are awakening the gods of Africa, we are awakening the gods of Africa. And the gods of Africa, they do not play. They do not play. The Olodumares, they do not play. The Orishas, they do not play. So the moment you've decided you want to awaken the Ajay, the god of wealth, when you've decided you want to awaken the Oshun, the gods of emotions, then we have to rise to the occasion. You have to rise to the occasion. You have to rise to the occasion, and you need to let go, detach from religion. It's already, don't wait to be convinced anymore. You know your spirit. You know where you've reached with religion. It is dead. It is dead. We can see it. The leaders are doing malicious things that are ungodly. You've seen religion is fallen flat on its stomach, but there are spiritual entities that are rising to replace immediately. You will never see the transition. Some people are waiting to see the announcement from the Vatican that, oh, now the Vatican is that. They will never announce. They will never announce. The universal things are gradual. The moment the Vatican is leaving, something else is going to replace it immediately. Because there can never be an empty space in spirit. So don't wait. Don't think now you will wait for announcement is when you change. Change with the changes before the changes change you. Anyway, I will start today's. Jumuiya Afrika Mashariki, tuwezeshe kuishi kwa amani, tutimize. If you are East African, you must learn this song. Tuwajibike, tuimarike, umoja wetu. You want to join in the anthem?
In the what?
We are having an anthem here.
Oh, okay. I want to play, but do you want it?
So you don't know what is going on here? No, I don't want to do a match. Please. Sote tuilinde, tuajibike. Listen to the words. Ni nguzo yetu, idumu jumuiya yetu. Na hata mashambani tufanye kazi sote kwa makini, tujitoe kwa hali na mali, tuijenge jumuiya bora. Jumuiya yetu sote tuilinde, tuajibike, tuimarike, umoja wetu ni nguzo yetu, idumu jumuiya yetu. So now, when you listen, that is how we will be starting our lives from today, going on. If I ever forget, kindly, the people who will remember, always remind me to do so. That is the East African anthem. This anthem was created to join the East African community. And the process of joining together the East African community was not easy. You know, the white supremacists and the imperialists, they don't want Africans joining together. They don't want us to break the borders. But that is what we must do. Africa is one landmass. There is no need for us to actually have borders where now in the border of Uganda and Tanzania, now you've drawn something over. We don't need to have the borders that we have. And the reason why we have borders is the reason why we are broke, because trade is not moving. Interaction is not moving. There's no mobility. There's no movement in Africa, and there's so much sanction against us. Africa is the hardest continent to thrive in as an entrepreneur. Why? Sanctions and heavy taxes that have been placed on us. Why? Because we are consumers. We do not produce. Why don't we produce? We don't have a market. Why don't we have a market? The entire market of West Africa is in France. The entire market of East Africa is taken by British, Europe. We have African countries who, us, we cannot sell to ourselves because we are busy buying European. We are busy buying from France. We are busy buying from the UK. We are busy buying from everybody else. So we are consumers. You cannot be wealthy when you are a consumer. It is an impossible thing. And this closing of borders and keeping us under control is to keep us poor in poverty, in chains, so that we will never have Africans who are producing. We will never have artists who are producing in Africa. You know where our artists go? They get brain drained. They get brain drained by offering of opportunities like Harvard, offering of abroad opportunities to go study. Africans going to study abroad, they are siphoning the best brains from the continent. So we remain here with no producers. Well, all our producers are of European citizenship now. When you look at like the team of France, the football team of France, it is all Africans. Like they take the best from us and then they move them into their countries so that they siphon the energy. So it is our people selling to us abroad. They are abroad, they're selling to us, but guess who is getting all the money? It is the white man. Because now they are in the white man's country, they have to pay homage, they have to pay to be there. We have to wake up. Because for us to actually be wealthy, for us to have wealth that is ancestral, for us to have wealth that will be consumed even by our children and the coming children up to 12 centuries or 10 centuries to come, we have to be producers in Africa. And this is what Burkina Faso is trying to do so much. And the fact that Burkina Faso has done this, they have been excluded from ECOWAS. You see the divide and rule. Right now, there are Cameroon people are fighting. Why are they fighting? There's English speakers and the French speakers. Everybody wants their own country. When English speakers and French speakers are fighting, that is the Englishman from England and the French that are fighting using African bodies. Still perpetuating divide and rule. Fighting over the colonizers' language. Africans, you need to wake up in places where you are. Because the time is now. Those who will not wake up, you cannot prevent an ejaculation that is due. If you will not wake up, you will be extinct. Because we are at a moment where survival becomes for the fittest. Natural selection, survival becomes for the fittest, for the most flexible. How flexible is your brain to reorient? How flexible is your brain to repent? Repentance does not mean going to cry to a pastor or going to cry to a father in the Catholic Church. Repentance means changing your perspective. Change the way you are. 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 I don't know why the network is going, but guys, whichever gods you pray to, also just pray for us to have a swift, smooth live today, because today's live is very close to my heart. Okay? So I was trying to read out the topics that we're going to have today. And the first topic is going to be Introduction to Ushirikina. If you're in Africa, you know what Ushirikina is. It is what they call witchcraft. But literally, Ushirikina is quantum entanglement, and I'm going to teach you how and why, so that from today when you hear somebody saying ushirikina, somebody saying witchcraft, somebody saying quantum entanglement, somebody saying quantum physics, quantum field, you will know what is being talked about in the room. Let us walk with knowledge. Let us not give judgment. Let us not judge things we cannot explain. Let us not judge things we cannot explain. Sometimes when you start judging things we cannot explain, maybe you might be insulting your ancestors and you don't know. If you can't explain it, shut up. Shut up, because you don't know the relationship that you have with it. Let us not be in a position where when the church tells you to hate, you hate. When the church tells you to hate, tell them to explain it to you in a way that you can comprehend before you hate it. Because a lot of Africans, you've been hating ushirikina when it is the very fabric of your being. And today I'm going to teach you about ushirikina. And this is just going to be an introduction, because this is a topic that we're going to go deep into as we go. After ushirikina, I'm going to be talking about the position of God. Where exactly is God, and how do you get into union with God? And I swear I'm going to tell you where exactly your God is. You're going to see your God today, And you're going to know how to get into union with your God today. And if by today you will not have been able to do so, then look for me on a personal level. Look for me on a personal level, because there are things that need to be removed from your eyes. If today, after today, you will not know where your God is and how to get into union with your God, look for me on a personal level so that we remove whatever is in your eyes. Now, today I'm going to teach you how to stop fearing death. A lot of people, they tiptoe through life, and this is what the Vatican is. This is the fear that the Vatican uses to kill Christians. A lot of Christians are in church because they fear dying. A lot of people are in church because they fear death. Now, today, after you know what death is, you will decide for yourself whether you still want to associate with the fear of death or not. After that, I will be talking about the gender biases, the spirituality behind intersex and transgender. So that is the thing that I'm going to be finishing with. If you're an intersex individual, if you're a transgender individual, if you're somebody you've been feeling like you want to transition, or all that thing that we are dealing with in the society today, stay behind so that you listen to the spiritual perspective of these things. So I'm going to start without further ado. We love you. Thank you guys so much. As you are here, keep tapping on the screen. And also, if you have gifts in the comment section and you feel like I'm speaking sense to your being, spoil me. And then, encourage the people who are spoiling me, because sometimes I might not find the break to actually thank someone. So if I'm not thanking someone, help me thank them in the comment section if you can. I'll appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. Now, we will start with introduction to ushirikina. Swahili speakers who are in the comment section, you know what ushirikina means. Shiriki. It comes from the word shiriki. Fellowship. Ushirikina, shiriki. So ushirikina is literally connect. Okay? That is literally the word. Ushirikina, when you hear people saying, oh, you ni ushirikina, meaning there was a fellowship that occurred somewhere. Because even the Bible says that where 2 or 3 are gathered, there God is. Where 2 or 3 are gathered, there God is. Where 2 or 3 are gathered, ushirikina is happening. So ushirikina in English is called quantum entanglement. And before I move to explaining to you what quantum entanglement is, I'm going to be telling you what quantum, the word quantum in itself, what it is. Now, quantum is a discrete quantity of energy proportional in magnitude to the frequency of the radiation it represents. I'll repeat and I will explain. Don't worry. If you're somebody who you are not understanding this level, I will dissect it until you can take it. So just stay with me. Quantum is a discrete quantity of energy. Discrete quantity of energy proportional in magnitude to the frequency of the radiation it represents. So quantum is a fractal. Okay? Quantum is the smallest discrete unit of a phenomenon. Like, for example, you are an entire quantum field, but then there is a cell that makes you. These building blocks, the bricks that I keep talking about, there's bricks that makes you. So each and every brick that creates you, that comes together to create, that is the quantum level. That is what quantum is referred to. Quantum is the homeostatic unit of a revolution. For instance, you are made up of cells. Let's go to revolutions in the society. Something like Black Lives Matter. Something like the Pan-Africanism movement. Something like Christianity. These are all slogans in society. And for you to make up that entire slogan that everyone identifies with, you need a quantum, which is every individual. So me personally, I'm a quantum to the Black Lives Matter movement. I'm a quantum to the Pan-Africanism movement. I'm a quantum to the African spirituality reintroduction movement. Like, that is my intention. So you, as an individual, you are also a quantum unit to the things you represent in a society. And your cell, one of your cell is a quantum unit to building you. So I hope from there you are comprehending something. Now, quantum is one cell or a building block to the whole body. I am a quantum unit of the Black Lives Matter. I'm a quantum unit of the Pan-Africanism movement. I'm a quantum unit of the renewable energy movement. Now, when there's the revolution and then there's people that present it. Without people that present it, without the numbers, that revolution is not effective. So when you're talking about quantum, you're talking about one single unit. Now, quantum entanglement now, or ushirikina, what we refer to as ushirikina, is the phenomenon that occurs when people are linked together by similar frequencies or a shared revolution in such a way that the vibration of each individual group cannot be described independently of the vibration of the others involved. And even when these people are separated by large distance, they remain in that similar vibrational level. I'm going to repeat slowly, but to the people who are already getting this level, if you're a higher educational learner, I'm sure you're already getting that level of what I'm talking about. I'm going to start. We are talking about introduction to ushirikina, which is quantum entanglement. Quantum is a discrete quantity of energy proportional in magnitude to the frequency of the radiation it represents. For example, when the gold reservoir is a quantum field, then a single fraction of gold that, let's say the gold reservoir is in Congo. Congo is where the gold reservoir is. But then you can remove a fragment of gold and you take it to France or you take it to England. That gold that you've taken to England, it will retain the same frequency and the same vibrational energy as all the gold that are in the gold reservoir. So literally that is what quantum, the connectedness, that is what quantum entanglement is all about. The connectedness. That is what quantum entanglement is all about. Now, quantumly entangled people are so deeply interconnected that any slight change in one person causes an automatic change in the entire entangled system. Let me repeat quantum entanglement. Quantum entanglement, which is ushirikina, wa Kiswahili hapa wa Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, Rwanda, Burundi, wale wa kusema Kiswahili. Ukisikia quantum entanglement, now I'm going to explain even in Kiswahili so that you understand. So usijali, you will get it. Quantum entanglement, or what we call ushirikina, is the phenomenon that occurs when people are linked together. It can be people, cells, atoms are linked together by similar frequency or a shared revolution in such a way that the vibration of each individual in that group cannot be described independently of the vibration of the others involved in it. And even when these people are separated by large distance, they remain in that similar vibrational level. And I will continue, because as I continue, it gets easier. Quantumly entangled people are so deeply interconnected that any slight change in one person causes an automatic change in the entire entangled system. Now, Ubuntu says, I am because you are. That is entire quantum entanglement there. Ubuntu philosophy says, I am because you are. Without you, I am not. Entangled. Now, Ubuntu says, I am because you are, to give emphasis to the fact that all creations are quantumly entangled under the great mother, Eve, the Eve gene. All creations are quantumly entangled. All human beings are quantumly entangled under the Eve gene, the beginning. Now, what is the importance of this? As an individual human being, you change yourself, you change the entire quantum field of the whole world. That is where it is at. That is where the juice is at. As a human being, if you want to change the entire quantum field, a change in you is going to echo into infinity and change everything that is connected to you. And that is all. So what does this mean? The only obligation you owe the whole world is the one you owe yourself. As you change yourself, the world is changing. As you are changing yourself, the world is changing. This is what is called quantum entanglement. If I want to change the world, I don't need to walk door to door. I don't need to walk door to door and tell everybody, hey, change please, change please. I only need to go within myself and change myself. The moment you change, there's a change in one particle. It echoes into infinity through quantum entanglement. The moment one particle changes, all of them change concurrently, immediately. So this is where the secret of ushirikina comes in. You shrink yourself at your individual level, you shrink the whole universe. You fail to stand up for yourself at the individual level, you have failed to stand up for the whole universe. A lot of people, they want to get into big platforms in order for them to, that is how they think they will make change. No, if you can't make change at your individual level, you will get a platform that is big and you will never make any change. Because for you to make change, you need to change yourself. And every time you fail to stand up for yourself, you are failing to stand up for Palestine. Every time you doors. If you can't stand up for yourself behind closed doors, you will come on TikTok, you will make noise. You will shout at everyone. Why aren't you making noise? But there is nothing you're doing. If you're not changing yourself, there's no quantum entanglement happening. You're just pretending. So know where the power is. Know where the power is. The power is not outside there, it is within you. You disrespect yourself at individual level, it echoes into infinity. You've automatically disrespected the entire universe. You expand yourself at individual level, you have expanded the entire universe concurrently. So the only obligation you owe the whole universe is the one you owe yourself. If you can't support yourself, you're not supporting anybody. So you must know that when we talk about quantum entanglement, we're talking about the power that is inside numbers. The power that is inside numbers. In order for us to reach a revolution, we don't need everybody to participate. In order for us to kill white supremacy, we don't need everybody to participate. In order for us to make a U-turn in the whole world, we don't need everybody to participate. There's power in numbers, and that number doesn't have to be whole. You only need the 144,000 fractals. So that is the power of ushirikina. What is the 144,000 fractals? It is a fraction that stares into the 24,000 infinity. 144,000 stares into the 240. It is 24 hours. So when you take 12, you square 12, you get 144. So inside the 24 hours, for you to make a change inside the 24 hours, you only need a fraction of it, which is the 144,000. So that is where the secret of ushirikina is. Because when you know this, then even in yourselves, among yourselves, you don't need all yourselves to believe. In order for you to quantum jump, in order for you to shift the equilibrium, you don't need all yourselves to participate. You only need the 144,000 fractals of yourselves to change and vibrate in the same level. And then we gradually, all the others will shape shift. All the others will shape shift. I hope somebody is getting what I'm saying. Ushirikina in ancient Africa was a way to intentionally come together with the aim of shifting the quantum field towards your desired outcome as a collective. And this was the secret. This was the secret that the great Greeks, the ancient Greeks, got out of Africa. They knew that in order for them for their desire to come, they need to work with ushirikina. And what is ushirikina? Ushirikina in ancient Africa was a way to intentionally come together with the aim of shifting the quantum field towards your desired outcome as a collective. The desired outcome of the ancient Greeks was for them to become more powerful than Al-Kebulan. That was their desired outcome. This desired outcome, it comes whether it is negative or positive. As long as you quantum entangle and you come together intentionally with the aim of shifting a quantum field, it doesn't matter whether that aim is positive or negative. As long as you reach the 144,000 fractals, you will shift the equilibrium. So what did they do? They decided to make everybody asleep, so that they are the only ones who are awake. When they are awake, now every African is a robot. Every African is a zombie. A zombie that doesn't know the direction that they are moving. When they are zombies, now their energy is being harvested to shift the equilibrium against them. So know that it is the Greeks that are the Romans. The Romans, they inherited the Greek philosophy. And then the Romans, they created the Vatican. And then they put the Vatican in each and every city in Africa. Each and every city, each and every compound, each and every place in Africa, the Vatican is there. When the Vatican is there in Africa now, they have the numbers. They have the numbers. They're shifting the quantum field as they please. As Africans, they go inside these churches and they recite what they don't know. What is being recited at the Vatican City with Catholic? If I told you are not a Catholic, I will tell you the secret of Catholic today. Catholics, they do not come with independent sermons. In Catholic, what is being recited in the Vatican City is the same as what is being recited in England, and it is the same as what is being recited in Zimbabwe, and it is the same as what is being recited in Kenya. They recite the same thing everywhere. That is a very powerful witchcraft. You know, other churches at least they come together and they're like, okay, today the sermon is they choose. They choose by themselves independently, so they can be guided by spirit, because where 2 or 3 are gathered, God is there. But then the Vatican, they have their bearing. The Roman Catholic Church, they have their bearing in the Vatican City. How wealthy is the Vatican City? The Vatican City is one of the wealthiest cities in the world. One of the wealthiest countries in the world. Why? Because they have the plug everywhere in Africa. And that plug, it is the Romans, it is the people in the Vatican that decide, today this is what we are preaching. Today this is what we are preaching. And when they decide it at the Vatican, it is spread everywhere throughout the world. Very powerful witchcraft. And that is how they manage to get the numbers. A lot of you ask, how did they manage to defeat us? How did they manage to defeat us? They are still defeating you up to today. Where are you? How many of you are in church every day reciting the Vatican, helping the Vatican uphold? How many are in church? How many of you are in church every day reciting with the Vatican up to today? You are the reason why we were defeated. You are the reason why a lot of our ancestors lost. You gave the Vatican the numbers. You gave the Vatican the numbers. You gave the Vatican the truth. There's always someone who knows the truth. The truth is among the people. The people is God. The truth is with God. There's someone who will always say something about it to make you less ignorant and more enlightened. So before you know what it means, shut the fuck up. Because right now we are not playing. We have ancestors who are now not going to play with you. If we awaken Olodumare here, you will not play. Olodumare will not play with you. You will slander and say ancestors are demonic and you will die, my friend. You will finish saying that word and you will get sick to a point you will never. Don't. We are getting to delicate times. This is not the time you just talk. Before the 6th century, post-Christian Europe, before the 6th century, the post-Christian Europe, before the 16th century of post-Christian Europe, like literally European Christianity started existing just yesterday, the word God did not exist. The word God was derived from the Proto-Germanic Gut, it is spelled as G-H-U-T, which directly translates to invoke or to call upon. I want you to listen to this properly. Before the 6th century post-Christian Europe, the word God did not exist. The word God did not exist. So the word God was derived from a Proto-Germanic, it was from the Germans, from a Proto-Germanic word, gut, which directly means to invoke or to call upon. Now, in the definition is where we find God. To invoke or to call upon. God means to invoke or to call upon. Now, what are we invoking or what are we calling upon? God is like to summon. What are you summoning? Now, what was being invoked or called upon was a future desired self. A future desired self. Now, when a child was born, they started moving towards God immediately. When a child is born, what they're thinking as soon as they start thinking is, what do I want to become? What do I want to become? What do I desire? And they start creating that in their head. Now, that is what God is. That summon is what God is. Now, Matthew chapter 19 verse 14 will tell you, let the children come to me. Let the children move towards their desired self without hindering them. Somebody's telling me, Osha ulimi kwanza, I have a white tongue, please. Go look at how the tongue of a cat looks like. And I'm telling you, before you know what it is, please, human beings, we don't have similar tongues. Some people have black tongues, some people have white tongues, some people have red tongues, some people have cracked tongues. So before you come here and you start insulting my tongue, go research. They are white tongues. Look at the tongue of a cat or of the cat family. Look at the tongue of a leopard, of a lion, of a small cat. You will see that our tongues, they have cartilages. They are made up of keratin. I have a tongue that is made up of the same product that comes from the nails. So literally my tongue can defend itself. So don't insult my tongue, my dear. Don't insult my tongue. Anyway, let's continue. When a child is born, they start moving towards God. And that is why Matthew chapter 19 verse 14 says, let them children come to me. Let the children move towards their desired self without hindrance. Now, God is your direction towards the future you desire. This is why they say God is to invoke or to call upon or to summon. So now God is your direction towards that future self that you desire. The future you that you desire. Your movement towards it is God. And how do you move towards it? Jesus is the path. Which Jesus is the day. Jesus is the path that you follow towards that future you that you desire. Okay? I hope you're getting that person who is commenting about my tongue. Those are some demonic spirits that are just trying to distract me from telling you this, because this is a very important information. This is a very important information. You don't need to go to church to find God. God is the future self that you desire. Now, I will continue. I will even repeat. There are two directions of God. There are two directions of God. The one you move towards when you love yourself, that is the ease God. The ease God, the God that brings you ease. And then, the one you move towards when you hate yourself, that is the disease. That is the demon. The one that is going to bring you discomfort. The one that is taking you to hell. That is the God you move towards. When you hate yourself, you move towards disease. You move towards hell. You move towards demon, being a demon. When you love yourself, you move towards ease. You move towards heaven. To move towards God, you must love your essence, your identity, and your history, no matter what it looks like. I'm going to repeat. To move towards God, you must love your essence, your identity, and your history, no matter what it looks like. To move towards God, you must look at your essence as an advantage. You must see your history as advantage to you, and you must see your essence as advantageous to you, and you must see your identity as good and beneficial. I will repeat that. To move towards God, you must look at your essence as an advantage. You must see your identity as advantageous to you, and you must see your history as a good beneficial ground that trained you to become even if it was harsh. I'll repeat. To move towards God, you must look at your essence as an advantage. Your essence is what you look like. What you look like was the beauty standard of your ancestors, my friend. Some of you, you come here and you look at other people and you're like, oh my God, why can't I look like that? What you look like was the beauty standard of your ancestors. Now you must figure out how, if you can't see it. If you can't see it, stand in the mirror and try dressing it the way you try new hairstyles. Try something until you get to a point where you're now looking at the mirror and you're like, I like it. And you know what stands in the way between you and that is the church. The church wants you to wear what it dictates. The church wants you to have your hair how it dictates. So a lot of you've shaved your hair. You've done weird things to yourself because of the church, so much that when you look into the mirror, you hate. You must make yourself look, your essence look. This face, your face is none of your business. Your face is your ancestors. You did not choose it. It was the beauty standard of your ancestors. Now you must make sure that it looks beautiful to you. So that's why I'm saying to move towards God, you must look at your essence as an advantage. Even if you think you're short, how is that advantageous? Even if you think your nose is so big, how is that advantageous? You must look at the advantage, at your essence as an advantage. You must see your history as advantageous to you. No, you must see your identity as advantageous to you. Maybe you're somebody, you're a Luo like me, you speak with an accent. Don't run away from your identity. Your identity is advantageous to you. Because remember, the way we narrate words, the melodies, the tonal variations, they are in unison with the vessel. So for example, if you are a Luo like me, when I speak Luo, when I speak with my Luo accent, my ancestors easily come out. They easily enjoy. They easily work with me. I'm not running away from my identity. So you must hold on to your identity. And lastly, you must see your history as good, beneficial ground that trained you. It doesn't matter whether you come from a poor background or you come from a rich background. You must look at your history as an advantage. You must not run away from your history. You must find a way to see your history that, oh, by the way, I went through this and it is an advantage. If you've not reached that point, you have not awakened. If you've not reached a point where you are looking at how you are brought up, how you are raised in that poor family or whichever dysfunctional family or broken family, if you've not seen why that was advantageous to you, you are not moving towards God. You have not awakened to move towards God. Now, why would you do all this? Why would you do all this? You remember, I've told you it is love. Love your essence, love your identity, love your history. Why? Love making is the only method that creates God. Love making is the only method that creates God. Earth is a planet of gods. And all gods that are here were created through love making process. So if you want to create God, you must know that love is the only way. There is nobody that was born on this planet without a vagina and a penis coming together. And for vagina and a penis to come together, there must be love. So love making is the only process that creates the gods of the planet. I hope you're comprehending what I'm saying. Anyway, the absence of love creates the Satan. The opposite of God. Now, to know where your God is, remove time. Oh, thank you so much, guys. I thank you. Thank you so much. To know where your God is, you have to remove time. Look into the future and ask. If you were to snap your finger today and become a superhuman, what would that look like for you? If you're somebody who you are here and you don't know the direction you're moving, you don't know where your God is, you don't know where your God is, ask yourself this question. To know where your God is, remove time and look into the future and ask. If you were to snap your finger today and become a superhuman, what would that look like for you? What would that look like for you? And after you've seen that image, print it out and put it in your altar. Now bring back time. After that, you bring back time and ensure that you, as much that you use as much time as you can in the 24 hours you get every day to move towards that image. Undistracted. You want to know how to create God? Let me repeat. To know where your God is, remove time. Look into the future and ask, if you were to snap your finger today into a superhuman, what would that look like for you? After you've seen that image, print it out. Print it out and put it in your altar. Remove Mary, remove that Jesus cross, whatever. When you put Jesus cross and you pray to that, you're praying for the day to die. You're praying for the day to die on you. You are summoning the day to die. Print out your desired future self and put it on your altar. And then bring time back. After you've put that image on your altar, ensure you use as much time as you can in the 24 hours you get every day to move towards that image undistracted. Protect your movement towards that image with your life. Unleash your sword anytime somebody wants to distract you from moving into that image. Superhuman example, what does it look like to you, my dear? If right now I was to tell you, you asking me about my superhuman example, you're asking me about mine. I want you to think about yours. If you were to become the most important thing you've ever seen, what would you be? What do you want to be? What do you desire to be on this planet? Which direction are you moving? How do you desire to see yourself? And please go overboard. Because nothing yote yawezekana kwa imani. Everything is possible before God. Everything is possible before God. Yote yawezekana kwa imani. So if you want, go overboard, guys. Create. This is the process of creation now. This is alchemy. Now this is alchemy. Go overboard, knowing very well that nothing is impossible before God. Nothing is impossible before God. And this is the reason why ancient Egyptians and ancient Kemetic people, ancient Africans, they came with human body, animal head. Human head, fish tail. Like literally people manifested. And we are not the first generation that is going to do this. This is what they've been trying to stop us from doing. Because now when people start moving towards God, there are people who are crazy. And I will tell you about it here. There are people who will manifest things that you've never seen. True supernatural. And yes, as long as you wait on the Lord, as long as you have the patience to wait on the Lord, it shall manifest. And I will continue. Choose your God, meaning choose the best version of yourself you see in your heart and head, and then move towards them without allowing anyone to divert your attention from moving towards them. Become a military personnel when it comes to protecting you moving towards your desired self. Become a military personnel. Chop off any head that dares to stand in the way of you trying to move into your desired self, because they will be there. The Amalekites we will always be there when the Israelites are moving into Canaan. They will be there. But now you have to be military. You might have to be armed to ensure that nobody dares to stop you. And that is where the totems come in. That is what your totems are there to do. The totems are the reason why the chameleon can camouflage. The totems are the reason why the porcupine can throw thorns. The totems are the reason why... Why are they ending my life? They are trying to end my life. The totems are the reason why the tortoise has a shell. Totem. Your totems now are there to protect you until the God manifests. Until the God manifests. Now I'll continue. Design your ego. Now this is what is called ego. Never kill the ego. The ego is what you create with memory. Never kill the ego. You only need to design the ego. Design that ego. Design your ego that is for the good of all, especially yourself. And with harm to none, especially yourself. Ensure your ego is for the good of all, especially yourself, and it has harm to none, especially yourself. And stubbornly refuse for your attention to be diverted from moving towards them. Mark chapter 9, verse 23. Says everything is possible, my dears. Everything is possible. Everything is possible, even when you are you want to transition. I'm telling you, and I'm going to teach this at the end of this when I talk about intersex and transgender. Even when you want to transition, literally you can use the day to believe so much so that you will get to a point where you naturally transition. You will not need surgery, because literally up to this particular point in time, no surgery has been successful. No transitional surgery is successful. People suffer. These people who they remove their manhood and then they create a hole and then call it a vagina, they suffer. You can see some of their testimonies. If you can't do it naturally, give birth to a child that will. Spend your days trying to do it naturally, because there's a way, and I will talk about it through the end of this. Because Mark chapter 9 verse 23 says everything is possible before God. God is so powerful that everything is possible before God. Yote yawezekana kwa imani. That is Kiswahili. I hope up to there we are together, guys. I hope up to there we are together. Somebody's telling me, are you okay? Your eyes are watering. My eyes are watering because of the light. My eyes are watery because of the light. So just listen to me mostly. Just listen to me. Everything is possible to those who believe. Yes. 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 Thank you. Guys, if you have gifts in the comment section, please keep showering me. Tap on the screen. Let's continue. Let's continue. Who dressed you? My dear. I've dressed myself for... Oh, Tenandra, I'm seeing you today. Jax, thank you so much. Jax. Tenandra, much love. You know I love you. Yo, thank you. Nola 11 is also a regular. Jax is a regular. These are my regulars. Tenandra, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Oh, Igbo is new. Igbo tick girl. Igbo tick girl. I love that. Sida, thank you so much. Yamadesu is my regular. Jax is my regular. Thank you. I appreciate you. Novi, Justine, thank you guys. I hope we are getting somewhere, guys. I hope it is comprehensible to you. My students, are we together? Big Fish, thank you so much. Amanda G, thank you. Sky Blue, thank you. Nola, thank you. Big Fish, I appreciate you. I appreciate you so much. You need the book name. The book name is Nyar. Nyar Kano is a whole book. Imagine, thank you so much. Tumi, thank you. I appreciate you. We are together. Thank you. Just Anne, I see you. Sandra, thank you. Locked Sleep, thank you. To me, Amanda. I appreciate you guys so much. Design your ego, my friend. Sit down and design an ego. The same way you see the white man now is Elon Musk is trying to build a Superman. Them they're doing it externally. Because they don't have that internal melanin that would elevate them to a level where they would do it individually, spiritually. But that doesn't mean that it is impossible to do it on an individual level. Create your ego. When you see Elon Musk is creating robots, that is his ego is creating. Create your ego. Create your ego. It is time. Right now, it is astrologically conducive to do so. Because of the 144,000 fractals keep coming into life every single day. Every single day, a soul is being won. Soon, the entire population will be one souls. And guess what? When we have such a quantum entanglement where the people love themselves, where love is everywhere, love is creative energy. Love is what creates. I want you to know that at the back of your mind. If you want to stimulate someone sexually, what do? Before they get into a level where they are creating. Because with sexual intercourse is the most basic level of creation. That is the most basic level of creation. So know that if you want to manifest anything, if you want to create anything on this particular planet, you must follow the process of sexual intercourse. And guess what? We don't only have sexual intercourse, we have social intercourse as well. And so Africans were very high in social intercourse. We had moved past sexual intercourse. Now we were at a level of social intercourse. And when we reach a level of social intercourse, it is spirit. It is spirit that moves. And so this was weird to the white man. The white man did not like the social intercourse of Africans, so he had to divide. When you are divided, you cannot stand. Divided, you fall. That's why we sing here in the East African Anthem. Ilinde jumuiya, nguzo yetu, nguvu yetu ni umoja wetu. Umoja wetu ndio nguzo. Umoja wetu ndio nguzo yetu. That is where we get the social intercourse. It is necessary. That is what is called the quantum entanglement. Ushirikina. You don't only have sexual intercourse. You have communal intercourse. But at the end of the day, it is love making. It is love making that creates anything. So even if you are building your avatar, don't ever think that you can hate yourself into your desired avatar. You will hate yourself into disease. You will hate yourself into disease. You will hate yourself into disease. You love yourself into God. You love yourself into an avatar. Into a godly avatar. Now let's continue. How to stop fearing death. I love that we are moving like this. How to stop fearing death. Now there are two positions of God, as I told you. It's either you're moving towards ease or you're moving towards disease. Every born creature starts moving towards God immediately. Every born creature starts moving towards God immediately. It is impossible to die before meeting God, before meeting the God you were born and you decided to move towards. It is impossible to die before meeting the God you were born and you started moving towards. The moment you're born, you start moving towards the God. It doesn't matter. The universe does not care whether the Vatican is tricking you into moving into something else. As long as you're born, you start moving towards God. Whether that God is a negative disease or whether that God is a positive is, you start moving towards God. Now, the moment you die, you immediately meet the God you had been moving towards. Nobody dies before they meet the God. Nobody dies before they finish creating the God they were moving towards, guys. I want you to have that at the back of your mind. Nobody dies before they finish moving towards the God that they were moving towards. Now, the moment you die, you immediately meet the God you had been moving towards. This is even written in the Bible, that the only time you see the face of God is when you die. So meaning everybody that dies, they see the God that they've been moving towards. It is impossible to die before finalizing your creation of your God. It is impossible to die before finalizing your creation with your God. There is a God being built by individuals. Now, this is where the catch is. This is where the catch is now. This is where I'm coming. This is where the catch is. There is a God being built by individuals in their personal lives. And due to quantum entanglement, which is ushirikina, these individual gods come together to form the collective gods. It is the collective God that in turn dictates the astrological placements or what gets to happen in space. I told you space is the place where creation has not occurred. Tomorrow is space. April is space. May is space. The places where nothing has occurred. It is God that dictates the astrological placements of the things that get to happen there. I will repeat this. There is a God being built by each and every individual in their own personal lives. And due to quantum entanglement, ushirikina, these individual gods, they come together to form the collective God. It is the collective God that in turn dictates the astrological placements or what gets to happen in space. If the God you are individually building is in contrast or separation with the God that is being built by the collective majority, then it means you are missing the marks, and the wages of missing the marks is death, transition, starting over. I want you to listen to that properly. I will read all these two statements. There is a God being built by individuals in their own personal lives. And due to quantum entanglement, ushirikina, these individual gods come together to form the collective God. It is the collective God that in turn dictates the astrological placement or what gets to happen in space, what gets to happen tomorrow in the future. If the God you are individually building is in contrast or separation with the God being built by the collective majority, I'll repeat. If the God you are individually building is in contrast or separation with the God being built with the collective majority, then it means you are missing the marks, and the wages of that is death, starting over, and transition. If you feel like the God that you're creating is in contrast with the God that is being created by the collective, you have an option. It's either you change the collective so that they start building the God that you are, so that you make sure you draw 144,000, so that you change the quantum field, or you will die and then you come back in another dimension. Why would you fear death then? Why would you fear death then? Every time you see someone die, know that's the God they had spent their entire lifetime moving towards in this dimension. Anytime you see someone die, know that version of themselves that has died, that is the God that they had spent their entire lifetime moving towards in this dimension. I hope somebody's getting what I'm saying. You should not feel bad, or you should not feel sorry that someone has died and you're like, oh my God, did they get to finish what they came here? Yes, they did. Nobody dies before finishing. It is impossible to die before you finish. It is impossible to die before you finish what you came here to do. So when the moment, even if they got an accident or some things happened that is weird or whatever, know that is the God they were moving towards. As I told you, it's either you move towards the God of ease or dis-ease. If you spend your entire life moving towards dis-ease, then you're going to get to a point where the body now, it is in total separation from the God that the collective is creating. And when the moment you reach a point where your own individual God is in separation with the collective God, you have no business being there. You have no business being in that dimension. You will be removed. You live now, you go meet the God that you've created up to that point. The amount of time you get to live is directly proportional to the amount of time it takes to build your God, your individual God. The amount of time you get to live is directly proportional to the amount of time it takes to build your individual God. Before you finish, you cannot die. Some people's God takes 2 days. Some people's gods take 13 years to build. Some people's gods take 30 years to build. The amount of time you get to live is directly proportional to the amount of time it takes to build your God. The universe cannot keep you in it when there is no longer a God you are building, because Earth is a planet of building gods. Once you finish building your God, you exit. So the moment you see yourself exiting, know that you've reached your God, and you will know. People know when they're about to die. It's just that we don't communicate the intuition. We are not intuitively communicating. The things that happen in the dark, we don't know. The things that happen in the dark, we don't know. But if you were to watch people's lives right before they die, you start watching it like a year before they die, you will see the weather. Utaona dalili. And people before they die, they know, they have that. If you've ever talked to somebody right before they die, you will feel that this person was almost reaching their end. So nobody dies before they reach their God. So if you want to live long, have a God that takes longer to build. Instead of fearing death, people fear death because they want to live long. So it is simple. If you want to live long, have a God that takes long to build. But if you take a God that takes short time to build, like the one in Vatican, the God in the Roman Catholic Church takes the shortest time to build, because you are in a hurry to go to heaven. You are in a hurry, and you know that you are heaven. You only reach there when you are dead. So you are in a hurry. You live the shortest. The Christian gods are the shortest. They take the shortest time to build. You choose. You are choosing every day. Every day as you wake up, you are choosing. You are choosing. And do you know how the God died? I told you that Jesus is the day. Jesus is the day. The church helps you to kill the day. You are supposed to be accumulating the day. Like today, I accumulated today, moving towards my God. You pour it. in a container. Tomorrow I accumulate the day, I pour it in a container. So the more your container gets full, the more energy you have to spend in building your God. But if every day what you are doing is you're waking up every day and you're hating yourself, you're hating the world, you are waiting for you to die. So meaning every day you don't spend, there's nothing you're putting in the container. There's no energy you're putting in the container. It means that you by the time that you are 30 something or you are 40 something, the container is empty. It has nothing for you to build God with. It has nothing for you to build God with. If I am speaking, I'm speaking on my camera, please. Just behave, guys. Behave like normal human beings. You know, normal human beings, you have to have how do we call it? Social etiquette. Don't be uncouth. You know, uncouth people are the people you will shrub a little bit. They mention, oh, you've shrubbed. You know, uncouth people are the people who you will do some mistake when you're talking a little bit. Then they take the entire moment and they're like, oh my God, you are spitting on the camera. Oh my God, you've shrubbed. Oh my God, you've spoken broken English. Those are uncouth behavior. Be like a normal human being. Allow humans to err. Allow people to be. Without you feeling the need to become England on them, as if we are practicing to go to the palace and become monarchs. We are not practicing here to go behave like monarchs now. You know, no. Here we are trying to put up the pillars back. We are building brick after brick. So don't bring me your societal standards. I don't live by those. Those take to the England. They are the ones who are preparing to go walk in the palace. I am not preparing to go in any palace. Here we are working, we are building. You should see me as somebody who is in the construction field, building. We have no time to watch over how we talk. I want the words to get to you. So focus, my friend, focus. Yes, focus. So up to that point, my dear, if you still fear death, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what, if you've not finished building your God, a car will even run over you and you will not die. You will not die. God does not allow. God will never allow you to go without completing your job. If you've not finished building your avatar, you will sit in a place where everybody's being shot, but you will be the only one to survive. You will sink in the middle of the ocean, but you will find your way at the shore. So before you start fearing death, please remember the power of God. And remember the power of God that you're building. Your tribe, we are for. Yes, please. You know, these people who are uncouth. Hey, man. Kwanza me, I don't live by anybody's standard, my friend. A sense. There's nothing like death. You will transition. Death is transitioning. Death is transition. Like literally you're moving from one stage to another. So the gods that are being built on earth, now you will know where, once the gods are built on earth, where they go. Once the demons have been built on earth, where do they go? Now those are other dimensions that we get into as we move. And these are things that are talked about in ancient African philosophy. Where do souls go when they ascend? You know, those are the places where now the gods go, because they are planets with gods only. It is only on earth that we have raw materials. On earth we have raw materials that are trying to ascend. Like literally we live in a machine that is creating gods. It is creating gods to be dispersed into other realities. But that is too much for certain brains. So we will not talk about it today. For today, just know that after here, when you're here, you're creating your God. And after creating your God, now you go live in heaven forever. That is what you hear, living in heaven forever. After you've created your God, you go live in heaven forever. After you've created your demon, you descend to hell. Yes, you descend to hell. So, up to that point, I would love to take a break. Wadau ebu type book, maybe ataona. Book gani, my friend? Do believe in the Bible? I want to give a verse to read for us. Just give a verse. Stop asking me if I believe in what. What I believe in will not benefit you with anything. Just interact, my friend. Interact without asking for my identity. You know, that is what I don't like about Christians. Christians are always looking for identity first before anything else. Identity is nonsense. If we are at the vibrational level where our brains can interact, let's interact. Stop asking me oh, are you Muslim? Are you Buddhist? Are you what? It doesn't matter. Can my brain and yours interact? Yes. If it can, go ahead and get straight into the question. Do you believe in marriage? I've posted about it. You will find my beliefs in marriage there. Islam believe. Do you know Islam as even Islam at its roots in Africa? This Abrahamic Islam that you guys are worshipping now is nonsense. Islam is the religion of intuition. Christianity is the religion that was made out of memory. And in this world, we know we exist in memory and intuition. So Islam, it prioritizes intuition, while Christianity prioritizes memory. But now the Abrahamic ones are all inverted. Nonsense, kabisa. Swiri, did you ever post the series about, you know, what? Not yet, Aki, not yet, I will. You know, when Islam has covered women. They've covered all their women. Why? Because they know their religion is based off of intuition. And that is the reason why patriarchy is thriving so much in Islam. Patriarchy infiltrated everywhere. They saw the Muslims. Islam was a feminine religion. Islam is intuition religion. But when they wanted to infiltrate it, they made sure that all women are covered first of all, so that their crown chakra is not accessible to the cosmos, first of all. So their power, the power of their women is nothing. It's nonsense. There is no power of women in Islam. It is dead. The religion in itself, it is dead in the same way the Roman Catholic Church is dead. I will tell you that for free. It's not better. Until the Muslim women will stop wearing the things they wear, until they will give away the hijab and actually start walking normal around like empowered women, Islam will always be under the ground, below the ground, nonsense, kabisa. Because it is a religion that is based off of the divine feminine, but they are suppressing the divine feminine herself. Upside down. Upside down. If you thought you were better, I'm sorry. Swiri, I believe God is a woman. God is feminine. Yes, God is a woman. And even science will tell you. Literally, the woman comes first. Every creation comes out of the vagina. The vagina comes first, my friend. The vagina comes first. And that is even the reason why in biology that I studied, they write it X, Y. It is always the X chromosome that comes first. It is always the X chromosome that comes first. You will never see in biology they've written YX. Can never happen. It is not biologically accurate. It is not biological. It would be ambiguous. It would be nonsense. So that from that you already see this is a conversation that we don't even need to discuss. This thing of Adam was created first is fabricated from the Romans, and they got it from the Greeks. And what the Greeks wanted to do was to take over alkebular. So they inverted the entire thing. But the woman comes first, always. Elaborate more on how to embrace the day. Everyone gets 24 hours a day. Everyone. This is the reason why I tell you nobody is helpless. Nobody needs saving. If you get 24 hours a day, the only thing you need to do is harvest that 24 hours. These 24 hours, it comes with particular planets that help you enhance certain areas of your life. So each and every day when you wake up in the morning, you should be using as much time out of the 24 hours to channel your energy towards building your own desired self, your own future self, your own avatar. Now, out of the 24 hours, if you take 1 hour every day, that is the only hour, the 23 you work for somebody or you channel it towards being controlled by someone, you will be poor at the end of the day. You will be poor in spirit at the end of the day. So if you want to harvest the day, make sure that every day you wake up out of the 24 hours. We have 24 hours, 12 hours a day, 12 hours a night. Out of those, already you are taking 12 hours to be in the ancestral realm. So make sure that a lot of that time is channeled towards you building your future self. Do so, especially during this time. Because also know that the universe is contextual. There was a time where, especially when people were waking up to go be enslaved. When you are waking up to go be enslaved, actually now the act of rebellion would be you trying to spend as much time not to be enslaved. Africans are always late. Why are Africans late? Who wants to be early to slavery? If you know you are enslaved, always be late. Channel as much time to yourself as possible during this time. If you know you are enslaved, abscond. Make sure that you give that enslavement as less time as possible. Give the enslaver less time as possible. Even when you are there in the office, try, watch YouTubes about self-enhancement. Do affirmations. That's how you break out of prison. Make sure that even when you are working at a slave job, you are slaving for someone. Make sure you cheat. Cheat. Don't be punctual to slavery. When you are punctual to slavery, it means you are late to self-development. When you are early to self-development, it means you are late to slavery. So even people who are working for other people, you can cheat the people. Imagine if you stand with God against the enemy. God will never leave you. Mungu aachi muja wake. Mungu aachi muja wake. That is a Kiswahili thing. I don't know whether a Kiswahili person can translate it to you there. Always choose God. Always choose God. Always choose God. Always choose God. Even in position, even in prison. I hope I'm talking to somebody in prison right now. Even inside prison, just lag behind, pretend, do whatever you need to do to ensure that them out of the 24 hours, more time you are channeling to yourself. And I'm telling you, with time, you will be out of there. You will be out of, your body will get you out of there. Your body will now bring you, it will awaken the DNAs that makes you literally get yourself out of prison. The only way, the truth, and the light is in the day. The day. How you choose your 24 hours determines whether you will be a slave at the end of the day or you will be a master. If you don't use the 24 hours to channel it to yourself, you are preparing yourself to be a slave. If you use a lot of the 24 hours to channel to yourself, you're preparing yourself to be a master. Those who obey inner authority automatically become the outer authority. You will be in prison, but you obey your inner authority more than you obey your outer authority. You will find yourself now becoming the outer authority in that particular place. Every place that you go, and just like I was saying, God is created out of love. Any situation you find yourself in, try and look at it from a love perspective. Even if you are in prison, don't be somebody who now you've gotten yourself in prison, now you're hating yourself, now you're living in misery, you're living in victimhood. You are going to manifest your disease. Never give up on love. Never give up on love. Even if you find yourself in prison, look at the brighter side. Okay, what is the universe trying to teach me by bringing me here? There must be something for my vessel here. There must be a reason why I'm in this particular situation. Don't be somebody who is quick to move into the victimhood. Your path, you must look at it with love, no matter what happens. Always look at it with, there was a time where your ancestors were in that particular exact position. There are ancestors of yours that made it out of that position. And there are ancestors of yours that did not make it out of that position. So which ones are you going to listen to? Are you going to listen to the ones that made it out? Or you're going to listen to the ones that did not make it out? Always know the direction you're moving. Because if you want to listen to the ones that did not make it out, you're hating, self-hate. If you want to listen to the ones that made it out, love. Love is the only love-making. Love-making is the only process that creates. Tell me another process that creates. Gods. And I'm not saying anything. Gods. Love-making is the only process that creates gods. There's no other process that creates gods. So you must love. Anyway, let's move to the last one. Guys, there's 1.1k of you guys here. Please, if you have gifts in the comment section and you feel like I'm spitting sense, gifts, and then tap on the screen if you don't have gifts. Yes. Swiri, you are speaking to. Thank you so much. That's what we are here for. Every Wednesday. We are here for truth. Now, I'm going to be talking about the gender biases. Mr. Eve, thank you so much. I see you are a regular here. Nola, thank you guys. Thank you guys so much. So, gender biases and the spirituality behind them. Now, as I told you, everything is possible before God. And before I even before I even get deep into this, the gender biases. How do we come up with gender? You know, there's a spiritual way of looking at things, and then there's a scientific way of looking at things. Scientific way of looking at gender, you are looking at it in terms of X and Y chromosome. But when you stand that into spirituality, you're going to realize that X chromosome is intuition. X chromosome is intuition, Y chromosome is memory. When you look at the world, the way the world was formed, the world was intuitive in the beginning. And then memory comes into play. Memory is literally an intuition that has lost a strand. And an intuition that has lost a strand is what becomes memory. If you don't get it now, you will get it as we go. So, there is usually a physical union between intuition and memory. Now, when you look at X chromosome and Y chromosome, there's a process in which the X chromosome and the Y chromosomes they come together. Now, I just want to teach this with my hands as well, so that I can do this. So, guys, whenever you hear X chromosome, no, intuition is what is being talked about. Women have 2 X chromosomes, meaning women are born with 2 strands of memory, of intuition. Women are 2 intuition conjoined. Men are 1 intuition and 1 memory. But those are not the only genders that we have. And I will bring you more. Now, what is the process of intuition and memory forming? There's a process called meiosis. That is how the chromosomes in a woman, which is the XX chromosome, 2X chromosome. A woman, when you want to give birth to a child, you have to release one of your intuition. And then a man, when they want to give birth with you, they either have to release their intuition or their memory. It is the men that determine the gender of the child. So as a woman, the woman will always release intuition, always. That is why legacy is maternal. Legacy is maternal because intuition is what runs. So the woman will always just bring intuition. The woman is always just bringing intuition. Intuition is darkness. It is the space. It is the unknown. But anyway, I will not get so much further into that. I will just keep it superficial. I want to keep it superficial for everybody to comprehend. Now, the woman is always bringing, when there is sexual intercourse to create a god, the woman will always bring intuition. The man will always bring intuition or memory. When the man brings memory, the woman will give birth to a boy. When the man brings intuition, the woman will give birth to a girl. So that the girl that the woman gives birth to has memory from her maternal side, intuition from her maternal side. I need to focus on that. So that the child has intuition from her maternal side and intuition from her paternal side. That is what creates a girl. When you're creating a boy, you are getting intuition from the maternal side and memory from the paternal side. So remember, boys, they don't inherit intuition from their father. Boys, they inherit intuition from their mother. Always. It is a girl that inherits intuition from her mother and intuition from her father. But a boy will always inherit intuition from her mother and memory from her father. So legacy is always maternal. Now, modern biology taught you that there are only two genders. Why are they age restricting my life? Please, anybody who is reporting this live or whatever, this is not even me talking about things that are vulgar. So don't stop. Okay, stop. Anyway, let me just say it. Even kids need to hear this. This is something that is generational. Yeah, I've refused for them to restrict me, but it means that somebody has reported, somebody who is watching here. Some of you have fibroids so much in your stomach. You always sabotage. Please get away, man. I'm not having any coitus with someone here. Why are you reporting it now? So let me continue. Modern biology teaches us that we only have two genders, meaning they only teach us that when a woman and a man come together, when they can only produce an offspring that has a memory and intuition, which is a boy, a memory and intuition and memory, which is a boy, or intuition and intuition, which is a girl. But those are not the only creations. Those are not the only answers that come. And by the way, guys, today I'm going to tell you something that might even change the way you think about yourself. Because a lot of our population, you think you only have XY chromosome, or you think you only have XX chromosome as a girl, but you might not. You might not. And listen to me carefully. There are instances when a woman and a man, when they come together, the man is the one that determines the gender. The woman is always just bringing the X chromosome at the table, the intuition. Now, X memory plus intuition plus memory. Listen, intuition plus memory. For a boy who is XY to be born, the mother has to have one memory, two intuitions, and then the father has to have one memory and one intuition. But then these are not the only combinations that give birth. For example, there are people who have XXY. This is called the Klinefelter syndrome. Klinefelter syndrome is when there's something that is called non-disjunction. Non-disjunction. Now let me tell you, due to what is going on in your environment, what goes on in your environment affects the chromosomes arrangement in your body. Our geopolitical issues, the issues that we have as a collective, they affect the arrangement of chromosomes in your body, and that process is called non-disjunction. This process of non-disjunction, sometimes you'll find that when a woman and a man comes together, the woman releases one of her intuition, and then the man, instead of releasing one of his memory or intuition, the man releases both intuition and memory. Like he releases XY, like literally there's a non-disjunction that happens so much that the man's intuition and memory, they fail to separate. So the man passes the entire XY chromosome to the child. When the man passes his entire XY chromosome to the child, it leads to a condition that is called Klinefelter syndrome. Klinefelter syndrome is an XXY. So the child will have two X's, meaning the child will have intuition from the mother, intuition from the father, and memory from the father. These are the ones that are called the Klinefelters. White people, they call this a condition, a disorder. But me personally, I do not think it is a disorder. What I feel it is the geopolitical arrangement affects the arrangement of chromosome in people. And so such kind of people, when they are born, they also come here with a particular God in design that they're supposed to be moving towards. And with the support, literally for you to create the God, there must be love around. There must be that connection around. Everybody must support you in order for God, for your God to be created. So if you birth a Klinefelter syndrome male, and then there is no support, there is no that love to make them comprehend who they are, then it starts to manifest as disease. But it is not always supposed to manifest as disease. Now, I'll tell you that there are two main arrangements that I want to talk about today. A lot of the population, they think they have XY chromosome. And a lot of women, they think they have X chromosome. But there's something that is called the Superwoman and Superman. There is a chromosomal arrangement that is called Superwoman and Superman. And I want to tell you, you might be having a Superman chromosomal arrangement and you think you have a man chromosomal arrangement. A Superman chromosomal arrangement is XYY, meaning one intuition and two memory. One intuition and two memory. If you are a man that is born with one intuition and two memory, you become overly masculine, violent, tall, with learning disabilities. A lot of the people a lot of the population of men in our time right now, literally a lot of them, people need to go get checked, because a lot of men in our time right now have X1X and 2 Ys. A superwoman is a woman that has 3 intuition. They have 2 intuition from their mother. When the mother is giving birth, gives them 2 intuition, and then they get 1 intuition from their father. When you are a woman who you have 2 intuition from your mother, it means that your mother literally passed you the entire work that she was supposed to do. Like she has connected you to both the intuition of her paternal and the intuition of her maternal. When your mother gives you 2 X chromosomes, they have given you the intuition of her father, and she has given you the intuition of her mother. Meaning she has given you the whole package. So you come with 3 X's, and these people are called the superwomen. And literally, a lot of women who have this psychic women, like literally, if you're somebody who you are very psychic, because when you have 3 intuition, your psychic levels will be over the roof. You will see things before they happen. A lot of psychic women, they have the superwoman arrangement of the chromosomes. They are overly psychic, super intelligent, tall, extremely intelligent, tall. And then I'll tell you even other characteristics. Most of them, they'll have the distance between this eye and this eye will be long. Like they'll have this. Have you seen that? The sister to Chloe, the one who has sung Angel, Harley. You see the way our eyes are further apart. That is a characteristic of a superwoman, of having having 3 chromosomes. And then another characteristic is the eyes. The eyes will overlap. Like you see the Asian eyes. The Asian eyes. That is another characteristic of super. Like literally, that is how you give birth to sirens. So women, a lot of women in our community, you assume that you have XX chromosome. You assume that you have XX chromosome. Why? Because having XXX chromosome, 3 X's, you will have no health issues. But you will have your intuition overworking. So most of the time you will be diagnosed as having psychosis with people who don't comprehend you. You will be diagnosed as having autism with people who don't comprehend you. People will see you as abnormal. But you will be highly intelligent. A superman has 2 memory and only 1 intuition. They will always be taller, violent, and stupid. Tall, violent, and dumb. Because having 2 sets of intuition of memory against 1 intuition, literally intuition is where intelligence comes from. intelligence is maternal. So the moment you have two memory overpowering intuition, you are done. So if you see these men who, they're very tall, very masculine, very violent in nature, and then damn, upstairs. That is a superman. That is what a superman is. A superwoman is the exact opposite, because now a superwoman has 3 intuition, but now memory becomes an issue. So most of the time when people see you, they see you as crazy, as a crazy person, as a superwoman. Because memory, like literally memory becomes an issue, but your intuition is more strong than the women who have XX chromosome, because you have an extra pair of chromosome from your father's side, an extra pair of chromosome from your mother's father's side, and then an extra pair of chromosome from your mother's side. So your memory becomes, you're very psychic. These are, they make the witches. When you hear women who are witches and they curse you, the seers, you know, the ones who can see before, because when you have 3 intuitions inside of you, then you are capable of seeing further than everybody else. So check yourself, because this superwoman and superman thing, a lot of people, they don't know they have it. But the population has it, and these are some of the information that they hide so that you don't judge the population the way it's supposed to be judged. You don't look at the population the way it's supposed to be looked at. But literally, don't assume that we both have XY and XX. No, there are women who have XXX. A lot. Actually, it's a lot, so much that it is 1 in 1,000 women. 1 in 1,000 women. 1 in 1,000 women have it. How to know? The easiest ways to know is just, first of all, look at your psychic ability, but just go get tested. Go get tested, because even the eyes that looks like Harley's eyes, it is not only that. Like, there are people who have XXX, but they have normal eyes. So it is dependent. But most of the time when you see women who, their eyes, one eye is here and another one is here, and there's a huge space here, just know that is an XXX. XXX. Kindly repeat. From where? What about a woman who dreams and it happens? Intuition. Go check your which chromosomes you have. The Khoisan eyes, exactly. The Khoisan eyes, that is XXX chromosome. Because it makes you be very intuitive, and very untrusting. The eyes that are like this, those eyes that are like this, they're very untrusting. When you see someone with eyes like this, no, there are people who don't trust on surface level. They will not trust you on surface level. They're very untrusting people. What is Superman chromosome? Superman chromosomal level is XYY. Masculine. XYY. Superwoman is XXX. Superman, like there's 1 out of every 850 men, there's 1 Superman. Out of every 850 men, there's 1 Superman. So imagine that. Imagine how many they are outside there. Imagine what somebody's asking, is there XXYY? Now, the process of creating God. Let me tell you guys, when I was telling you that how you move towards God is by literally designing the best in your memory. Now, when you are designing your God in your memory, do you know what you're using? You are using intuition and memory. Whenever you are designing your God, you are using intuition and memory. So this XY, these are the building blocks of life. XY. So as you're building your God, remember that it is the X and Y particles that you are empowering. And so these XY particles, that as you empower them, you can either make yourself have more X, make yourself have more Y, depending on the direction that you want to move on. So somebody is asking me here, is there XXYY? Literally XXYY would be a complete hermaphrodite. Like literally it would be a human being that has a vagina and a penis. It would be a human being that has a vagina and a penis. And When it comes to this, the transgender community, if you are a transgender individual, it means that you are born with XY and you want to maybe change it to be XX, or you're born with XX and you want to change it to be XY. Then you must go back to the basics. This is not a job that you just wake up, you collect money and you go into the lab and you do surgery. You must pay attention now to the fractals, to the mathematics behind how many intuition do you need to divert, to make a transition from male to female. How many level of transition do you need to make sure that the Y inside of you changes and becomes an X? You have to be ready to do the work. Literally, we live in a generation where people want to rush. Of which if you already rushed and you did your changes, me, I'm just praying to you and I'm telling you it is possible to reach your goal spiritually. Can the Y change naturally? Yes. As I told you, X is the honor. X is the constant. Y is a variable. A variable can change. Meaning, if you want to change your Y to become X, you just need to grow the part that was removed. You need to just grow the part that was removed, the strand. You need to spiritually grow the strand that was removed so that you have two intuition. You must make sure that you add in the memory, it turns into intuition. That's how you do it. And it requires work. It requires mathematics, it requires focus, it requires a lot of mathematics. Nature. It means that the transition is possible even spiritually. But we are a generation that is in a hurry because the Vatican is telling you to hurry up. Hurry up! Hurry up! Hurry up! The world is ending tomorrow. Hurry up! The world is ending tomorrow. So a lot of people, the work that you're supposed to be taking even 100 years or something, creating, some people you want to do it in 20 years. You want to do the work that is supposed to be taking you 30 years in 2 years. Because the Vatican is telling you the world is ending. So you are in a hurry. Don't be in a hurry, my friend. Isaiah chapter 40 verse 13 tells you those who wait on the Lord. You have to wait on your Lord. You have to decide which kind of God do you want to build. Because let me tell you, the amount of pregnancy that a mouse takes, the number of days a mouse takes to deliver a pregnancy is not the amount of time an elephant takes to deliver a pregnancy. If you choose an expensive God, a God that is like an elephant, then you have to wait. You have to take the patience it takes. Don't think that you are going to give birth the same time a rat is giving birth. Don't think you'll give birth to an elephant at the same time a rat is giving birth. And the Vatican is there to move you fast. Like, rush. Rush, the world is ending tomorrow. You need to rush, you need to rush. You need to rush, the world is ending tomorrow. The world is ending tomorrow, you need to rush. So people are rushing. And you know, when you're creating things rushed, they look rushed. When you're creating a rushed God, the God will look rushed. So when you're scared of pregnancy, it means you're scared of manifesting. I don't know what would make someone be scared of manifesting. I have no idea. So the transgender community, know that you cannot transition ignorant. You cannot be ignorant and transition. It is the work of the elites. That thing that you want to do, that transitioning that you want to do, it is the work of the elites. You must become an elite. You must become a spiritual elite to transition. It's not a walk in the park. It's not just something you wake up and you do. It is a work in progress. If you wake up and you do it, you see the side effects that people have. Nobody can create your God for you. Nobody can create your God for you, and never let anybody lie to you that they have the capability of creating your God for you. The only thing somebody can do is show you the direction when you get a little bit stumbly. Tell you that, okay, this is where you go. Nobody can create your God for you. That one I will tell you for free. Nobody can create confidence for you So people who are going for BBLs, you will have that BBL. Outside, we will see you as a confident person, but inside you are not confident. So as within, it's not matching without. You will live in depression. Build your ass by yourself. If you want high-res cheeks, build your things by yourself. Nobody can create your avatar for you. People who are telling you to bring them money, those are witches that are wasting your time. You see the way some witches, they are not true. There are a lot of witches who will tell you that, hey, bring 20 million. Bring 20 million, I will make your man come back. And then you bring your 20 million. That is, modern day surgeons are witches. They will tell you, bring 2 million, I will give you confidence. Bring 2 million, I'm going to build you confidence. And then they give you a plastic confidence. Guess what? Inside of you, you are still weakling. And then outside, people, when people see you from outside, they're like, oh my God, they're so confident. Oh my God, they're so confident. But inside, you are not. You will live in a mismatch. You will not like it. I'm telling you for free. You will not like it. You will not like it. What about making your lips bigger? You're trying, like people are noticing that we are in the era where truth must be said. So everybody wants to look like they're telling the truth. That's why lips are about truth. The way your lips look, they dictate whether you are a truth teller or a liar. If you're somebody, you come from ancestry of people who have lied and lied and lied and lied and lied, you have no lips by now. If you're somebody who you come from an ancestry where people have been telling the truth, you have big lips, you don't even know how to deal with them. But right now, people are going to surgeons and telling them, please make me look like I tell the truth. Please make me look like I tell the truth. Because it is the era of telling the truth. There was a time where big lips were not admirable. When the society was benefiting out of lying, big lips were being made fun of. But right now that we are in the frequency, we are in the astrological frequency where telling the truth is the norm. Now everybody wants to look like they tell the truth for a living. If they can't, they bring money to the surgeon. Please make me look like I tell the truth for a living now. I don't want to be caught. And their spirits, they know. Spirit is always moving. Spirit is always moving. And you know your body will always give you choices. Do you want to build the ego, or do you want to build your higher self? Some people, they're like, I'd rather build the ego. I'd rather build the ego. I'd rather build the ego. Your ego, but increasing your lips, you can do it spiritually. Speak the truth. Speak more truth. Speak the truth. Speak the truth. Speak the truth. Speak the truth for 2 years, 3 years, and then see your lips. They will start now looking like, you see the way you gain ass, it's the same way you can gain your lips. It is the same way you can gain your lips. You don't need to go inject it. But people are not, we live in a world where people are in a rush. You know, the rush of Europe, the European rush, the American rush. Everybody's moving like a rat. Everybody's moving at the speed of rats. Nobody wants to move at the slow speed of an elephant. An elephant has to move slow because it is carrying a lot of weight. People who carry a lot of spiritual weight, they move slowly. 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 And people who carry a lot, no weight, no spiritual weight, they want, choo-choo, I want it today. But anyway, you know, I'm not judging. I'm just telling the truth now. Me, I wouldn't judge you if you have your lips done. I don't care. I don't care. So, you know, most of the time when I talk in live like this, when people meet me in real life, they think I'm judging them. I don't care about what you decide to do with your body. I will just look at it and see it, and then there's nothing I can do. I cannot even tell you that, I'm not those types of people. I'm not uncouth. I know social behavior. I will not stop you and tell you that, by the way, those lips of yours, they show me. No, this is just me teaching. What I teach in the class is not how I behave in public. So you don't have to run away. I don't judge people. I don't even care what you decide to do. Like, literally, I will be just like, okay, at least you're trying to make your God look better. There are people who are not doing anything. What about being tall? So being tall is literally what it is. More genetic space. You carry a lot of most of the time when you're tall, it directly translates to you come from an ancestry of travelers, people who have been everywhere. Because your body is a storage of, it's a bank. It's a bank of genetics. It's a bank of DNA. So when you're long, it means that your ancestors moved a lot and they changed a lot and they interacted a lot with different people, different tribes, different countries. So you have a lot of memory. When you're short, you come from the conservative ancestors who did not move a lot. They did not move a lot, so they just conserved enough. Both of them are good because both of them have their own advantages. When you're very tall, you are not flexible. You can't become flexible. When you're very tall, your balance is not good. Though you have a lot of memory, but your balance is not good. But when you're very short, the memory is less, the balance is very good. So both of them have their pros and cons. Whatever you are, find a way to love what you are. Don't spend your time admiring other people. If you truly admire it, create yourself. If you're like, hey, me, I was born short, but I don't want to be short. But first of all, when you're creating God, you must always love your identity. Love the identity you came into. And if you want to change it, then have a conducive conversation with your higher self. And make sure the reason why you want to change it is literally for the good of all and with harm to none. Yeah, I'm tall and cramped. Yeah, being tall reduces your ability to balance yourself. Being short increases your ability to balance yourself. But being tall gives you a more advantage when it comes to international passport. Being tall gives you international passport, like literally. Being short is quite a little bit restrictive on your movement. Being tall encourages your movement. Being short is restrictive on your movement. Being tall destroys your balance. Being short increases your balance. So both of them are good. What of big eyes? Big eyes shows that you come from an ancestry of people who are trusting. Trusting what they see. So you should live as somebody who you trust what you see. Be somebody who you trust what you see. When you have eyes like this, is your ancestors are trying to tell you, don't trust so much. Don't trust so much. When you have very tiny eyes, your ancestors are telling you, don't trust so much. When you have big eyes, your ancestors are telling you, trust what you see. Trust what you see. So everybody is always on their path, communicating with their own ancestors and moving. This big Nyash, I've talked about it so much, guys. Not today. Oh, not today. Not today. I have one big eye and one smaller one. Which one is big and which one is small? Is it your left eye that is big or your right eye that is big? Tell me which side. Because also know you are made up of two entities. Left and right. Feminine, masculine. So which side? Can I change my appearance regardless of genes? Anything is possible before the Lord. Yote yawezekana kwa imani. Guys, let me pee a little bit. Yo. Yes, I'm back. My left is smaller than my right. So it means your feminine side. Your feminine side is untrusting. And your masculine side is more trusting. So if you want to make them to work on them so that they look to each together, you decide. Do you want to be more trusting or more untrusting? So what does wide shoulders reflect about a woman? Wide shoulders, literally, they reflect your ability to think for yourself. If you're a woman and you have very wide shoulders, it means that you are very independent when it comes to thinking. You are a free thinker, okay? Literally, because the shoulders are represented by Gemini. Gemini is, I think for myself. Audio shut. I don't know why. I'm tall and proud of myself. Yes, you should be. Should be proud of whatever you are, man. Be proud of whatever you are. What do moles? Moles are a signature, like literally the X chromosomes. X chromosome is the representative of the female, of intuition. So they mark their own. Like literally there's the witches, they mark their own. Or I would tell you the alchemists, they mark their own. So most of these moles, that I don't know the color of your moles, but most moles that I know are dark in color. They are usually representation of different ancestral lines, literally, and different prowess that you have. It is the representation of your ojas, your spiritual ojas. For example, if you're a female and you have a mole on your left hand, you have a mole somewhere on your left hand, it shows that you're very intuitive, you're very psychic. Having a mole on your right hand, it means you're very good at cramming. Your memory retains. Having a mole on your nose is your discernment levels are very high. So guys, when you see people with moles, literally, especially like people who have moles somewhere on their face, those ones are marked. Leave them alone. Oh. Leave them alone. Oh. Leave them alone. Those are the type of people you mess with and your life will never be the same. The type of people you mess with, the marked people you mess with, and your life, having moles on your lips, there are people who have moles on their lips. You literally have the power of life and death on your tongue. To have moles on your lips, power of life and death. You can speak life and you can speak death by just speaking. And just talking about the tongues, a lot of people always tell me, oh, go wash your tongue. Guys, there are people who have, my tongue has cut. You see those things that are on the tongue of a cat. I don't know whether it's just me, but I don't know whether you people in the comment section, you also have such kind of tongues. There are people who have red tongues, like literally their tongues have not developed the nails. And then there are people whose tongues have nails. There are people whose tongues have dark black spots. There are people whose tongues are cracked. It looks cracked. You might think they are sick, but no. It is just representative of how much they can stretch. Yeah, mine is cracked. Yeah, so different people have different tongues. Don't go around making comments about people before you learn human anatomy. Because some people, you think that all of us have a tongue like yours. Not everybody has a tongue like yours. So you don't look at people's tongues. Go study what are the different types of tongues in nature. Snakes have their own tongue that is different from the tongues of the cats. The cows, they have a tongue that is different from the tongues of the bird. So usinilete tongue ya watu wa kwenyu. Mimi ya tongue yangu si yenyu. My tongue is mine. What about the birthmarks? What about beauty? I don't even know what birthmark is, beauty spot is, and mole. Is there a difference between beauty spots, birthmarks, and moles? Because me, I feel like all these things are the same. They are markings. They are different. I will read about it then. If they are different, I will read about it and know. Because me, I've learned about the markings of the body. And literally all of them are the same. They represent similar explanation, which is marking their own. Some DNA, some genetic lines, some lineages, they mark their own. They mark their own. What about the small hole in the ear? Just study your own body. You'll realize that we have different things. Different people have different things. Why is it a bad thing? No. Why is that a bad thing? It's not. Marking your own is not a bad thing. The lineages that mark their own is not a bad thing. They're just giving you an easy time to find yourself in this dimension. If you know you have a mole somewhere, start looking. Why is that mole there? You will always find the information. Go into ancient philosophies. What were they saying about moles? How, what, more, what? Find yourself. These are marks that are helping you find yourself. Vitiligo is an autoimmune disease, guys. Vitiligo is not markings. Also, be very careful. We have vitiligo, we have albinism. Those are not markings. Now, vitiligo is an autoimmune disease. An autoimmune disease is when the body attacks itself. The body is attacking itself. Why does the body attack itself? Because you are channeling your anger to your body. You hate yourself. When people do things on the outside, instead of you channeling that hate towards them, that you've stepped on me and you slap. Anger is good. Anger is a protective energy. Anger helps you to protect yourself and get even. So whenever you are justified to be angry, be angry. If you are justified to be angry and you don't become angry, you are channeling that furiation to your own selves, and your own selves will be like, you know what? She doesn't want to shoot people on the outside, so we are going to shoot ourselves inside here. If you don't do it on the outside, yourselves will do it to themselves. So always know that you also always have to react appropriately to your body. If you reach a place with your body where you need to apologize, apologize. Repent, change your perspective. If you reach a point with your body where you need to get angry and stab someone, slap someone on the face, get angry and speak for yourself and stand up for yourself. Albinism is the same as vitiligo. They are all autoimmune diseases in different variations. All of those are the body attacking itself. Why does the body attack itself? Because the hatred that is supposed to be channeled outside is being channeled inside. And this phenomenon has created an entire race of people. The autoimmune disorder is what has created an entire race of people. Self-hate. Albinism started from self-hate. Vitiligo started from self-hate. Being white is self-hate. That is the represent. If you want to see what self-hate looks like in nature, look at Europe. If you want to see what self-love looks like in nature, look at Africa. And it will tell you the writings are always on the walls. Look at the way Europeans behave. They are bombing each other every day. They kill like it's fun. They kill for fun. You know, the writings are always on the walls. So we live in a world where hate and love is mirroring each other like this. But the question is hate necessary in nature? Is hate a necessity in nature? Yes! Hate is necessary in nature. Why? Because it is hate, literally, that kills what needs to be gotten rid of out of the planet. Hate is what kills what needs to be gotten rid of out of the planet. Hate is like winter. Nothing grows in hate. And so when something has reached a point where it is hate, it is an entity of hate, know that the next point is exit. The next point is exit so that spring can come. So winter comes and covers everything so that nothing can grow. Winter comes and suffocates the planet. Winter comes and suffocates the planet, and then it kills with it everything that needs to be cleansed out of the planet. Know that the universe is self-cleansing, like the vagina. The universe is self-cleansing. So it cleanses off. Winter cleanses off so that spring can come. So literally hate is also doing that. Hate cleanses off so that spring can come. So when you want to look at what hate looks like in nature, look at white people. And it is what it is, you know, guys. When sometimes we, the educators, we get to a point where now you might look like a hateful person for saying certain things, but that is just what it is. For your skin to turn from black to white, it is an autoimmune disease. It is the body attacking itself. That is what manifests as white skin. And when you look at even the white race, you can see how they've been attacking the planet. The writings are always on the wall. So you see they are attacking the planet the same way the body attacks itself, and then they attack the planet. They want to kill the planet. Autoimmune disease is the body attacking itself to kill itself, to self-eliminate. So it is what it is, you know. It feels, even me, I feel sad saying such kind of things, but you know what? At the end of the day, we have to call a spade and call things the way they are. I know this is the reason why they you know, miseducated the whole world, because they did not want everyone to know the truth about who they really are. But, you know, the truth has to come out. Somebody has to say it. And I don't mind being the person. I don't mind being the person that say, I already told my ancestors, nah, use my vessel to do anything you want to do on this planet. I will not back off. So I don't mind being the person that gets to tell you that you are the face of hate. And you know, the worst thing is that they've spent so much centuries trying to tell Africans that they are the face of hate. So much that Africans started believing it. They were changing the quantum field to tell you that you Africans are the most violent, you are the most hateful, and yet that is the exact opposite. When you want to look at the face of love, look at Africa. Those are the faces of love. If you want to look at the face of hate, look at Europe. Those are the faces of hate. That is where the sun gets to die. The sun is the giver of life. The sun is love. The sun is the giver of life. When the sun gets to die on your lands, I told you your lands, they are representative of who you are. When the sun dies on your lands, it means love gets to die where you live. Where doesn't the sun die? Most African countries, the Middle East, those are the places where people of color live. Those are the places that the sun does not die. Meaning love does not die. If you live in lands where love gets to die, know that that is who you are. You come from a genetic line where love gets to die. So you can also, you know, because we live in a planet of gods, you can manifest yourself to being the burnt people. Because now again, there's the burnt people who come from being white to black. Those are the burnt people because of the sun burns them, but they survive. The sun burns them, but they survive. Those are the ones that are called the burnt people. I'm sure you've heard of the burnt people. The people who burn, the sun burns them. You know, the sun is memory. Europe is founded on lies. The sun is love. Europe is founded on hate. For that hate to become love, it has to have love in it. And for that love to come in, the sun has to burn you. The sun has to burn you. If the sun burns you and you survive, you become African. Yeah. So let's just get to a point where we will get. Somebody's asking me about the junk DNA. Junk DNA is literally from the word junk. Junk DNA are non-coding DNAs. They are DNAs that are not already awakened. And literally they make the compact majority of our cells. When I tell you that we come here to create God, we come here with junk DNA. And it is this junk DNA that we awaken. If you have the capability of awakening your junk DNA, they'll start coding. Junk DNA are called non-coding because they don't participate in the process of coding. But the moment you awaken them, they start coding as well. When they start coding as well, that is where the supernatural abilities comes in. That's why you'll find yourself, you'll be somebody who you are seated here, but you can hear from very far. Your ears are, you are clairaudient. That is when you will find that you're seated here, but you can see far. It is the junk DNA that are there, junk, just hanging around waiting. Is she going to awaken us or not? Is he going to awaken us or not? Those are the junk DNA. The junk DNA are in your body. They are waiting for you to awaken them or not. They're just hanging around, and the white man decided to call them junk because they thought it was useless. Those DNA are not useless. They're just asleep. They're just sleeping there waiting for you, waiting. Will she ever awaken us? Will she ever awaken us, or she'll pass us over to her offspring to awaken us? Will she awaken us in this lifetime, or she's going to pass us over to our offspring to awaken us? So those are the junk DNA. That's what they do, literally. If you awaken them, you gain your superpower. If you awaken would say that, oh, if Africa was so civilized, how come they did not have weapons to protect themselves? The junk DNA. That's a weapon. A lot of Europeans, they say that our ancestors gave up on the war and did not have weapons to protect themselves, and yet we are here. I'm here telling you that that your face is a representation of hate. If my ancestors did not exist, I wouldn't be here to tell you the truth, to actually twist the lies that you came up here with so that we tell the truth. The war never ended. We are still here. The junk DNA is still here. So that is the biggest weapon you can ever have. Many people thought our ancestors were stupid. That, why didn't they protect themselves? The junk DNA, my friend. The ancestors knew that what goes around comes around. So astrological placement will always come around. And when an astrological placement comes around, it awakens the junk DNA of their descendants. The solar storms, they awaken the junk DNA of the descendants. And then we become a nightmare in your life. If you thought our ancestors lost, wait until you see us becoming a nightmare to your psyche. Wait until you see us becoming a nightmare to everything that you thought you knew about yourself. Wait until we become a nightmare to the history that you thought you knew about yourself. Wait. The ancestors are still here as junk DNA. Junk DNA, that thing that you hear, junk DNA. The ancestors are here very much. The junk DNA is awakening. So imagine, that is the weapon. That's a weapon that you can never beat. The white man thought they beat our ancestors because then they move with time. They think that, because you did it in the 17th century. Here we are in the 21st century. Still fighting the same war. Our ancestors are just passing us the mantle, and we go with you, we go with you, we go with you, because we know there is nothing like time. There's nothing like time. We only have the junk DNA and what goes around coming back around. What goes around coming back around. The war was never lost, my friend. The African glory is going to come back through us, as you see, and you will be alive to see it. You're going to be alive to swallow back every spit that was spat on African individuals is going to be swallowed back. Every insult that was thrown against the African ancestors will be swallowed back in our timeline. They called our ancestors the most stupid. Are we? Are we now? Now come and call us stupid, wa? Come now and call us stupid. You know, our ancestors were called the most ugly. Come now and call us ugly. Now, as a descendant now, your own ancestors managed to call ours ugly. Now, come and call us ugly now. You know, it's the same people. We are the same people, different clothing. Same people, different clothing. So before you speak about how our ancestors were defeated, then you will have to tell me, is the world over? Is the world over? Or when did you bring the results? When were the results of that defeat announced? Which year was it announced? Because as far as I'm concerned, the last time I checked, our ancestors have been fighting. Yes, they called our noses ugly. You will see them starting to open their noses very soon. After the lips, they are going to come to start opening the nose. You will see. You will see them coming up with devices to open the nose and make the nose wide. Our ancestors were mocked for having full lips. Our ancestors were mocked for their own spirituality. Now we are here. Come mock us now. The astrological placements have changed. Come mock us now. Come mock us now. Uone venye utarudishwa. We are no longer inside the Vatican. A lot of us have left. And you know the beauty of it is that the strongest brains have left. Me, I never worry about the small brains. The small brains, you can stay in the Vatican, you can stay in the Catholic Church until you die. But with this kind of information that we are peddling, imagine the strongest brain are going to leave the church. And the moment you have the strongest brains out of the church, that's it, my friend. That's it for you. As long as we have the most strong African brains out of the church, that's all we need for our revolution. We don't need everybody to come. The small brain ones can remain there until the next century. But those big by now, I don't think there are any big brains still in the church. By now, I don't think, guys, I don't think. By now, I don't think there's any big brain that is still in the Roman Catholic Church. So just know the ones that are still sitting there, those are backwards. That's how you also judge the public. If you want to know the backward people, you see them lagging behind. Their children are the ones who will now move out of the church. So don't worry about them. Even Moses told the Israelites, some of you, it is your children that are going to make it to Canaan. You will not make it. You are not ready. You are not ready. Some of you are not ready. You are still in the church. You're still in the Roman Catholic Church. You are not ready for Canaan. Give birth. Your children will make it for you. Your children will make it to Canaan for you if your body can't stand being around religion. Yeah. The big brains are already out by now. By now, the big brains are already out. The big brains are already out. Because now we are in an astrological timeline where big brains can now be independent. You can now walk on your own. You don't need somebody preaching to you, God, what. You can now walk on your own. The small brains, they need to be together. Move together like sheep. The small brains that are still in the church, those are the ones that move together. They cannot survive on their own. When you see somebody that is still in the Roman Catholic Church by now, know that is somebody that has no ability to stand on their own. They have to be like sheep, moving together, you know. They are even scared. They cannot stand. When they stand on their own, they will die. So leave them. Leave them there. They cannot stand on their own. They will die. Because you know, outside here, spirituality is independence, my friend. Don't also lie to people. Tell people the truth that spirituality, if you don't have muscles in your brain, you will not make it. You will not. You will not. You will die. Because now spirituality is the battle between you and your brain going, you and your brain, your heart and your brain going like this. There are some people who they cannot handle that. They will run mad. They will enter into psychosis. So when you see certain people holding on to church like that, know that their children will come. Their children are the ones who are going to reach this level that we are on. Of which let them be. Yeah, let them be. Don't even bother with anybody. You, as long as you know that your brain can move beyond the borders. The borders, the way Moana, if you've watched this Moana movie, the way Moana's father used to tell her, don't go beyond the borders, don't go beyond the borders, don't go beyond the borders. But it reaches a time where you have to go beyond the borders. Where the sky meets the sea. If you know your brain has the capability of going beyond the borders, go beyond the borders. But don't carry everybody. Some people cannot swim beyond the borders. Some people will drown beyond the borders. So also don't force anyone to come. Unless you're going to stand up for them, of which you will not manage. You cannot manage to break your own generational cycle and manage to break somebody else's. You will be conflicted. Both of you will drown. So let the people who are not ready to stay in church and lock the doors. And I hope you don't eat each other inside there. Because spirituality is not a walk in the park. But if you know your brain is big and your brain is strong, get out of church. You are doing a lot of injustice to your ancestors. Get out. Get out. Start exercising your independence. Start exercising your independence. If you know your brain is strong, get out. We don't need that brain there. You know, the world, earth is the battle of brains. The best brains get to run the show. The best brains are the ones that are called the elites. The ones that can manipulate quantum forces the most. The ones that are the biggest alchemists. Those are the ones that get to run the show. And most of them, the Rockefellers, the United States, the monarchy, the British monarchy, they were able to be the biggest brains because they made sure everybody else was asleep. They made sure everybody else was junk DNA. They made sure everybody else was a zombie. So they have been gods in world of zombies, in world of junk DNA, and they loved it. Imagine the level of low self-esteem. You'd rather be a god of zombies just for you to see yourself as better. Like literally, Europeans, you have a lot of work to do when it comes to generational cycle breaking. You have a lot of work to do because imagine a people who they'd rather be the president of dead people than to not be the president. That is what Europeans are. They'd rather be the president of dead people than not be the president. That type of psyche, you need a lot of, you guys will have to be banned to be saved. You're going to have to be banned to be saved. Just because they did not want to do the work, you know, they love surgery. They love shortcut, you know, surgery. You know, for you to result to surgery, it means you don't want to grow for you to go to BBL, it means you don't want to grow your ass naturally. So then they'd rather do surgery and become the top than actually come to Africa and learn the laws of nature and learn Ubuntu and learn how to live side by side with nature and learn that for you to tame an animal, you have to become it. You watched Avatar. Did you see the Avatar, the process of taming those birds that were flying like aeroplane? You have to tame an animal in order for you to have its totem. Europeans, they don't want to go through the process of taming, through the process of becoming as light as a feather in order for them to ascend. They want surgery. They want surgery. They want a quick way into awakening. What is the shortcut? Oh, this is so much. What is the easiest shortcut? What is the easiest shortcut? Shortcuts will never get you anywhere. We know this. It is practical. The writings are always on the walls. If you were to see, I watch a lot of documentaries. If you were to see the side effects of getting the transgender surgery, you would cry. You would cry. And that is literally the system that the Europeans are founded on. Shortcut. They don't want to follow the true process of building gods. They want to go through shortcuts. Shortcuts will lead to more harm than good. Guys, have you seen? You can go and see. You can go, you Google this thing. The informations are there. Just Google. You will see the type of torture that a lot of transgender individuals go through after going under the knife. After going under the knife, they go through hell. You know that there are some women who they want their vagina to become a penis. Literally, it's not a penis that they give them. They give them something there that looks, it's literally, hey. Have you guys seen these things? Or I'm the only one that's research. They don't give them a penis, something that will never ejaculate. Like, literally, you get... Women who are transitioning to become men, they get a dick that you as a woman, you cannot say, I want to be fucked by that. You cannot say it. You will vomit. That's what they get. Just for the sake of you cannot even enjoy now. You cannot even now enjoy sex. A lot of trans individuals, they cannot now even enjoy sex now. Because they butcher their private parts. They butcher their private parts. Hey, it's not worth it, guys. It's not worth it. And you know, when you stay the way you are, you can still enjoy sex. You kill your ability to create. You totally kill your ability to create. Me, I wouldn't advise anybody. I swear to God, I wouldn't advise anybody. I would go with you through the laboratory process to make sure that you gain it spiritually. But I would never advise anybody to go under the knife. I would never. Yeah, the nerves are killed. And you know, doctors are just doctors. Doctors are just witches in another dimension. Some doctors, they don't know what they are doing. Some doctors, they're just children. Now, some doctors don't need to be practicing. Because what they do to people, the way they butcher people's bodies, trying to create things that they don't, you know, now a doctor is like, most doctors who perform transgender surgeries, they are literally just creating, you see the way you used to create a doll. The way you used to create a doll out of mud. If you're African, our babies that we used to play with, as we used to create them out of mud. That is what doctors do nowadays. They just, you know, take your meat, they form a skin. They don't care, they don't care about the anatomy of the penis that they're giving you. They're just giving you skin that is wrapped in meat. Yeah, my God. Hatari. Ogopa. Hatari. Hatari, guys. Hatari. But then, also when you look at, like, now people with Klinefelter syndrome, you look at people with the Klinefelter syndrome specifically, the intersex individuals, you realize that they have, maybe I can even show you, because these things you Google them. Some of you are like, oh, what does an intersex person's private parts look like? And for us to educate people about transgender community, we must say the truth. We must say the truth. We must just tell people the truth. Tell people the truth, because a lot of this lies that you lie to people is what pushes people to go for surgeries that they don't know the outcome. You lie to people that, you know, you can just do it. Allow them to do it. Tell people the truth about the result of other people. How much other people are regretting what was done. I've never come across one transgender man who tells me that their dick is working after getting the transition. All that I've watched say that the dick is not working. Hey, my God. Tell people the truth. We have to, when we are educating about the trans community, let's just be spiritual about it. Tell people the truth.
Some Johnson in 19.
When you look at private parts of intersex individuals, you'll realize creation is still ongoing. How do I... it's not on Google. It is explicit content for real. It is explicit content for real. What I wanted to see. I cannot show you guys this. I don't think I can show you guys this. Though I wish I could. You know so much from... Yeah, hata mimi nimeshtuka because what I was expecting to see, I haven't seen. I wasn't expecting to see such explicit. These ones I can't show you. But then just Google for yourself, guys. Be somebody who is quick to check what things are, what people are talking about. When you look at the private parts of intersex individual, you realize that a penis and a vagina can exist together. A penis and a vagina can grow together. They can exist together. And literally, to me, that phenomenon is so amazing. Like literally, that is a phenomenon that me personally, I feel like it's the most amazing thing. I don't even know why a lot of intersex people, they go for surgery for one to be removed. To me, it's so beautiful. Yeah, like the private parts are so beautiful. Like literally me, I would manifest that for myself. I would even manifest a partner like that. But then because of societal discrimination and stigma, they shrink. Especially the African ones, they shrink. At least a lot of European ones that I've seen, there are some European intersex that have been empowered so much that their private parts literally grew with a vagina and a penis that are big and both functional. But in Africa, a lot of intersex individuals, they shrink so much that their authority, their divine authority also shrinks with them. So their private parts remain underdeveloped because there is a lack of love around them to actually show them that, hey, you are a superhuman, bloom. So they shrink, and when they shrink, their private parts also shrink. And literally that is a phenomenon that the shrinkage is happening in the collective consciousness. So when you see intersex people that grew up around families that empowered them, you will see that their private parts are bigger and more pronounced and more functional. Because also know that we grow from, our environment is responsible for how we grow. Literally everything is connected. Some people usually think that the way you are born, you will just grow healthy for the rest of your life. No, it is our environment that make us shrink, it make us sick. And the intersex community, it is mostly our environment that have made their private parts shrink so much that they become unfunctional. We need to change how we look at them because literally the private parts of intersex people are beautiful. It is a piece of art. It is something that we need to manifest in our society so that we have more of such kind of people. Because imagine having a penis and a vagina existing at once. And these are fully functional. They are able to impregnate and they are able to get pregnant. But because of our society, because of the ignorance, we are busy manifesting them away. We are busy manifesting them away. So much that when they grow up around us, they shrink themselves. They don't even want to be known. They don't even want to be known. They shrink themselves. And remember, when somebody is shrinking themselves, it shows in their physical vessel. It shows in their physical vessel. Yeah, so we need to change. And me personally, the people who are following me, I need you guys to start the change. As long as 2 people, 3 people are starting the change will now spread everywhere. And soon in future, we will see intersex individual with fully functional 2 parts that are fully functional. You marry one person, you get both a vagina and a dick. So even the homosexuals, your problem is solved. Literally. Your issue becomes solved like that. If you want someone who has both, you get. We need to encourage such kind of a society because these people will never stop being created. They will never stop being created as long as our world is the way it is. They will never stop being created. In fact, right now we're just suppressing them. But the moment we become more open to all creation, they will blossom even more. We will have very huge penises that alongside has a vagina. So educate yourself. Educate yourself. Educate yourself. Educate yourself. Educate yourself. Just educate yourself. Your vessel was your ancestors' beauty standard. Your vessel was your ancestors' superhuman standard. Whether that vessel is coming with one vagina, a vagina and a dick, 2 dicks or whatever, your vessel, the way it comes, you need to embrace that vessel and don't let anybody who doesn't have that same vessel talk to you about how that vessel is unacceptable. They don't have it. How do they know? People need to be stubborn. That is why we need the rhino totem in a lot of people. We need the rhino totem in a lot of people because a lot of you, people prevent you from blooming just by you listening to them, comparing themselves to you. If I have a vagina and then I come to you and you have a vagina and a dick, which right do I get to tell you that you are wrong? Did I create you? You know, some of these things you need to protect yourself. You need to stop waiting for the government and the society to protect you. You need to protect yourself. Nobody should come and tell you that the way your body is built is wrong. Because who are they? The same way white people are telling us that being black is wrong. Is that the same thing? Telling us that speaking any other language apart from English is wrong? Know that the white imperialist, the colonizer, has been leading the world, meaning hate has been running the world. Hate has been running the world, and that is why we hate anything that is different from us. Hate has been running the world. As long as the European imperialist, the colonizer started running the world, that was hate that entered center stage to run the world. And that is the reason why a lot of things we've excluded. If it is not bilateral, if it is not polar, no. Anything gray area, we say no to. As who? Everyone is created in God's image and likeness. So when you see everyone, whether they were born without a mouth, whether they were born without a forehead, whether they were born without a leg, just to know that that is God's image. And then move along. We need to get rid of Christians because it is Christians that uphold this hatred thing in our society. When the Europeans decided to plant missionaries and churches everywhere in Africa, they were planting hate everywhere. So from now on, if you see a church somewhere, just know that is a hate, especially the Roman Catholic Church, because that is the mother of all churches. When you see the Roman Catholic Church anywhere, just know that that is hate that has been built there. And you should see the type of churches that they've built. Very big. Very big. They've built, those are hate factories. Their hate factories are very big in Africa. And they put money on them every single day. Because if it were not for church, if it were not for Christians, we wouldn't be thinking intersex are terrible people or do not belong. We wouldn't be thinking that people who don't have the XX chromosome and the XY chromosome variations are not fitting. We wouldn't name them as disorders. We wouldn't call anything of God, any God's creation a disorder. Why are you diagnosing God's creation? God's creation comes here to create itself. So even if a child comes here with no hands, you are not supposed to be diagnosing them that, I don't know, they have what disorder. No, leave them. Leave God's creations to move towards God. Let the children come to me. It did not tell you that, oh, let only the XX and the XY chromosome children come to me. Every child that comes to me must be XX or XY chromosome. The Bible does not say that. It says, let the children come to me. The children. Whether that children is born with now eyes, whether that children is born with, let the children come to me. Born your child and let them go to God. So get away from the church if you want the ancestral wrath not to fall on you. Because the ancestral wrath will fall. And it better not find you in the church. When the ancestral wrath is burning the church, it better not find you there because it's coming. Anyway, guys, I feel like I have been live today for long. Actually, it's not even long. But thank you, guys. Let's reach 500K and then I leave. Because now I'm feeling like I need to take a breaky. Swiri, how come snakes can't be tamed? That is the kundalini, my friend. Snake is the kundalini. What is a kundalini? Kundalini awakening is what you get after all parts have been worked on. After you've worked on your head, your shoulder, your chest, your heart. After you've worked on your stomach, after you've worked on your pelvic area, after you've worked on your reproductive area, after you've worked on your thighs, your knees, your Achilles heel, your toes. The result that you get out of that is the Kundalini awakening, Kundalini upgrade or Kundalini awakening. So the snake is the representation of that. Tell me how you can tame such kind of thing. Tell me how you can tame that kind of a thing. Or by taming, what do you mean? You can befriend the snakes. But telling a snake what to do, you cannot. You cannot tell a snake what to do. They are fully healed. Like literally the snakes are healed in their dimensions. Also, no, there are different dimensions. So the dimensions that they represent, they are fully in them. So a snake is like your great-great-grandmother. So when you befriend your great-great-grandmother, go into their lives to listen. Be ready to listen. Be ready to be taught. Be ready to submit. That's how you get along with the snakes. Because them, they are wisdom. A snake is wisdom. Like literally, it is a wisdom in nature. Transformation. How about those who fear snakes so much? They fear awakening. They fear awakening. What's your take on what's going on in Buckingham Place? Me, I don't even want to know what goes on in the Vatican. They are the Vatican. I don't know what is going on with them, but they should get out. You know, don't stop even giving them energy. Right now, your eyes should be, who are the next monarchs? Who are the next royals? That is where your eyes should be. Right now, you should not even be looking at the England king and queen. Those ones are already down on the floor. Those ones are already broke. Literally, they cannot fund anything right now. We are at a point where they cannot fund anything. We are at a point where the UN are being moved from New York to Nairobi. Do you know what that means? It is a poverty transition. New York has become too expensive for the UN workers to live in. Now they are coming to Nairobi because, you know, Nairobi is cheaper because of the currency compared. So those ones are already dead. You should be looking at who are the next royals because they are there. The energy once created cannot be destroyed. So the next royals are there. They told us, yeah, of course they have to tell you that the snakes are the demons, because the snakes are the ones that teach you the path of awakening. I love the color of your love. Thank you so much. Royals for who? The royals are coming, my friend. Energy once created cannot be destroyed. We are going to have families that are going to be so powerful, the same way the monarch was powerful. We're going to have an African spiritual center that is going to be so powerful, the same way the Vatican was powerful. Those energies, they were created, they cannot be destroyed. You can only transition. And remember, the Vatican did not create that space. They transitioned it from Kemet, House of Life. They transitioned from House of Life into the Greeks, into the Romans. And now the Roman Catholic Church is dying. Something else is going to come into that place. The same way the British monarch is dying, a royal is going to come into that place. And it is already there. We cannot just see it. The spotlight has just not fallen on them. But the same way the whole world was obsessed with the British monarch, is the same way we are also going to get another family that we are going to be obsessed with, the same way we were obsessed with the British monarch. But now it's going to be different. We were obsessed with the British monarch because they were controlling everyone. They were killing everyone. Now we are going to have a family that we are going to be obsessed with because they are helping everyone. They are awakening everyone. They are, the opposite. So always know that energy once created cannot be destroyed. It can only be transmuted. This is why our ancestors said, your kingdoms will be handed over back to you on a silver platter. Because also these families that are going to replace these things, it is not a coincidence. You've been prepared. You come from lineages that have been preparing you since time immemorial, so that your kingdoms can be handed over back to you on a silver platter. And it will. You will not have to lift up a finger. We just have to continue with the awakening process, and with time we will see the entities change. The celebrity scene is going to change, because when you read the books like The Last Templar, you realize that the Vatican is connected to Opus Dei, it's connected to the Freemasons, it's connected to the Hollywood celebrities. All these people are going to crumble down. We're going to have new replacements. And right now, your eyes should already be looking, who are the replacements? Because they're already there. They're already there. The replacements are already there. They might be tiny. But they're already there, and this time they won't be killed. They won't be stopped. The replacements are already there that are going to replace all these things that you see. The replacements are already there. So just wait and see. We are going to have a very beautiful era starting from, actually it is starting from this year. Things are going to change. What is going to fall is going to fall. The things that are going to rise are going to rise. Also know that when Christians say the world is coming to an end, it is their world that is coming to an end. Also know that every church, all those churches that the Vatican created, they're going to be replaced, all of them. The school systems that the British created, all of them are going to be replaced. Because one thing that I will tell you, the order is there. We must have rulers. Those who obey their inner authority must always become the outer authority. So the government must always be there. It's just that it will change. It will look different. The schools must always be there. Schools where kids go to be taught totems. And how to awaken their totems and how to elevate. Going to come back. Literally, the hospitals are the healing centers. Modern day hospitals are ghost plantations. The modern day hospitals are ghost plantations. They take people who are moving towards disease. Modern day hospitals, they take people who are busy building diseases, who are busy moving towards demons, moving towards disease versions of themselves, moving towards demonic versions of themselves. And then you get planted. You get planted at the hospital. If your hand is bringing trouble, they chop your hand. And then they tell you continue moving towards disease. If your leg is bringing issues, they tell you, we will chop your leg, now continue moving towards disease. That is what modern day hospitals do. They are a plantation of ghosts. They plant ghosts. But then we need to have facilities that facilitate healing, self-healing. Nobody can heal you. People can only give you intentions. that heal you, that make you heal yourself. So even hospitals are going to collapse with time. These things will collapse with time. And remember, there will never be a parade. There will never be a parade where a bell is rung and everybody is announced to that, oh, people of Earth, now we are removing the British education system and we are bringing the spiritual education system. It will never happen. These things are going to be replaced slow. Like, you will not even notice that there was a replacement that occurred. And that is the process that we call shape-shifting. You see, the universe is the best at transition. You see the way TikTok people transition here? The universe now is the best. Some people transition, you will not even know they transitioned. The universe now is the perfect transitioner. You will not even see it. If you're not keen, you will not see the point of transition. Where did it happen? And so this is the reason why you should always keep up with the astrological weather. Keep up with the astrological weather, because you will reach a point where transition has already occurred and you're still screaming, the Vatican, and transition has already occurred. There are people who they go to offices that formerly had rogue leaders, and they are thinking that those offices have rogue leaders even up to today. You must be awake to know that the rogue leaders have already left, and now there is the new leaders. So you don't go shouting at the new leaders as if they are the old ones. And what will help you with that is you keeping up with the astrological weather. Know what time it is. Always know what time it is. Knowing what time it is will help you know who is where. Right now in Kenya, a transition of leadership had already occurred. Kenyans are still shouting at the current sitting president as if he is the previous one. Why? Because a lot of them are asleep, drunkards. They did not see the transition. 5th president at 55. The writings are always on the wall. You know, if universe things are very simple, and they are direct as they are. Most of the time when you just look at the writings that are on the wall, you know, people who are highly spiritual already saw that this is president number 5, and this president has gotten into power at 55, and I think he got into power, I don't know whether it was May or something. Like, there was so many 5s with our president. So much that you're like, oh, that's literally change. But because a lot of Kenyans don't keep up with the astrological weather, then they keep shouting, you know, politics. And Africans, you must wake up as well. When you get good leaders, you must know. I know we keep complaining that our leaders are bad, but be careful you don't move with that until when a good leader is placed. Now you continue with that so much that you weaken their urges. Because when you continue shouting at a new replacement as if they were the old one, you weaken their urges. The good leaders that God gives you, you're supposed to help them lead. You're supposed to help them lead. Oh, thank you so much. Somebody's saying that US is using it. US is broke. Oh my God, that was such a beautiful gift. Audrey, it had my name. That is possible on TikTok. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you so much for that. Yeah, so that's, as I'm saying, Africans also always keep up with the astrological weather so that you know when to shift. You know when what is happening. Don't be just a blind person. The universe is the movement of the universe has a lot of transitions. And if you cannot see the transitions happening, you will remain being an enemy to somebody who is not an enemy. Yes, I'm blushing. So people who are saying that Ruto is being used by the US, so you wait and see. Hey, you wait. If you think Ruto is that stupid, Kwanza, first of all, you people, you should know the background of that man. You know, most of the time before you judge someone, Ruto is not like Uhuru, a Nepo child, who was a dumb individual who was brought to just lead. To just lead because the father once led. You people should know who that man is. Me, the first time I encountered that man was when I was in university. When I was in the University of Nairobi, Ruto was in the same institution as me. And by that time he was doing his master. The way that man was committed to his botany research. Sometimes you even look at somebody's integrity from an individual level. Their level of drive at an individual level. Some leaders you are pushing and nobody even knows if they went to school or not. Anyway, let me not talk about Kenyan politics, but I will tell you, we have the best leader in the world, and the elites know. People who use their brains, they know. And if you think that the US is using Ruto, then you will know that pwagu upata pwaguzi. You will know that pwagu upata pwaguzi. Pwagu upata pwaguzi. And you know the way the UK got into East Africa was through fraud, signing treacherous treaties. They lied to our ancestors. So trust me, when you're getting out of such contract, if the colonizer got into your land through force, the way West Africa, they did to West Africa and Burkina Faso, Mali, Cote d'Ivoire, etc., you have to take your power through military. If the colonizer got into your land through military, you will take your power through military. If they got into your land through lying, through deceit, through treacherous treaties, then that's how you also get out, my friend. There's no way you will get out of treacherous treaties using force. Ruto is not that stupid. And if Raila was there, Raila would have gone the force way, would have achieved nothing. Always know the traps that were set. It takes a liar to defeat a liar. It takes Pwagu to defeat Pwaguzi. So leave our president. Leave our president alone. Oh. Those of us who are holding space for him in the spirit realm, we know ourselves, and we will continue holding space for him until he brings the meals back home. See, the UN are already here. The UN is already here because America is broke. You know, they're saying, I don't know what excuse they're giving about the UK, the UN workers coming to Nairobi. But whichever excuse they're giving you, know it is poverty that has brought them here. And more are coming. It is the great migration time. It is the great migration time. It's just this. It's purple in color. It is the great migration time. So people who are living in the Americas as well, if the moment you've seen the UN is relocating to Africa, pack your bags. Pack your bags. You know this girl who sang now the mire. That is such an astrological sound. Because now you'll have to relocate. Now the mirror means now you have to relocate. You have to relocate, my friend. The great migration is here. The great return. The moment you've seen the UN has already taken their people out of New York to Africa, move. You have to move. And when you're moving, as I'm ending this live, by the way, when you're moving, follow the right channels. Follow the right channels. Me personally, I work with Traverse Culture. That is one of the channels that I would advise you to follow when you are relocating. They help with the relocations and they help with vacations to Nairobi. Look for traveling agencies that you trust and move. Don't also just move with anybody, and don't move alone. The world is the world. The world is a jungle. You will lose a lot of money if you are moving alone and you don't know anyone where you are going. Try create and try also conduct a reconnaissance, like a pre-visit. Before you go somewhere, maybe conduct a pre-visit, go see just how it is before you settle down. And use the correct channels. These correct channels, they might be a little bit more expensive, but they will save you a lot of hassle. Something like the Traverse Culture, they already know Nairobi. And the CEO of Traverse Culture has traveled to over 25 countries. So she knows a lot of places. She's been here for a long time here in Kenya. So she knows how to relocate you guys. And there are so many people, apart from Traverse Culture, there's so many people who are also doing the work of relocation. So work with people. Work with people. Somebody's saying, I wish you came twice a week. Maybe I will with time, but don't worry. For now, just take what I can offer. Anyway, this is the end. And as usual, I will be starting my live with East African Anthem and ending my live with East African Anthem. Just for us. Just for us, guys. Just for us. So, because I'm ending the live right now. So I'm going to put the East African Anthem, and once it is done, I'm going to leave. So as it sings, probably you can say whatever you want to say, but that's it. Uilinde Jumuiya Afrika Mashariki, tuwezeshe kuishi kwa amani, tutimize na malengo yetu. Jumuiya yetu sote tuilinde, tuajibike, tuimarike. Umoja wetu ni nguzo yetu, idumu jumuiya yetu. Uzalendo pia mshikamano viwe msingi wa umoja wetu. Tujilinde uhuru na amani, mila zetu na desturi zetu. Jumuiya yetu sote tuilinde, tuajibike, tuimarike. Umoja wetu ni nguzo yetu, idumu jumuiya yetu. Viwandani na hata mashambani, tufanye kazi sote kwa makini, tujitoe kwa hali na mali, tuijenge jumuiya bora. Jumuiya yetu sote tuilinde, tuajibike, tuimarike. Umoja wetu ni nguzo yetu, idumu jumuiya yetu. Thank you so much for coming. Mwah. Bye.